Yeah, they've had such a good start, haven't they, to their Premier League campaign at Leeds United. They've won 2, drawn 2 and lost 2, so pretty uniform at the moment. Obviously looking for another victory today here in front of their home crowd. Last time they came up was under Marcelo Bielsa. He was sort of deemed as quite the messiah, wasn't he, when he brought Leeds back into the Premier League after so many years in exile and kind of elevating the club to a whole different level. But it all kind of unravelled in that second season, and Leeds United ended up going down again, and they've had to, undergo a bit of a rebuild process in that time. There are a lot of players who were deemed surplus to requirements. I mean, the big ones are, say, Meslier in goal is not the number one preferred option. Patrick Bamford told that he's not part of the plans anymore, so they've really had to find goals and a solid defence from elsewhere. Stuart Pearce, in terms of the first team signings, would you say that the recruitment has been quite smart this time around?
Yeah, I think it has, personally. I think nice and steady away. I think the results dictate that, and I think the start they've had to the season, 8 points from these 6 games, if they win this, they'll probably end up in this evening in the top 7 or 8 in the division going into the international break. So that probably tells you everything. I think it's a really solid start. This game, it's always the case. We sat last weekend at Brentford Man United and said how important that was for the start that Brentford or United might have. This is the same for both teams here. Maybe not so much Spurs. They've got 11 points at the moment, but certainly Leeds.
Yeah, when you look at some of the players that brought in, Lucas Nemecha starts on the bench today. He arrived as a free agent. You've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, of course, came from Everton, so struggled so long with injuries, and he's come in, he brings that Premier League experience, as does Sean Longstaff as well. That feels kind of smart in terms of bringing in players that know. You've got Carl Darlow in goal as well. You've got players who understand the top flight. Probably, maybe if there was a bit of naivety towards the end of their tenure last time, you feel that they've addressed those issues now? Well,
the Calvert-Lewin situation, let's address that first. You know what I mean? Undoubted ability, but comes with an injury question mark, let's say. If they can keep him fit, he'll score goals and give him a great option up front. Very, very good in the air. Longstaff, I thought, was an outstanding signing. I really do. He was inspired, and I think he was only let go from Newcastle not because of what he'd done negatively, more so the strength of their midfield up at. They got experience. Darlow I've worked with at Nottingham Forest as well. They know the league, they've got experience around the place, and they'll offer all that going forward.
You speak to Leeds fans, they're really fancying Gabriel Goodmanson at left back at the moment. What do you make of his performances so far?
This is the first time I've seen Leeds live this year, so I'm intrigued to see them play. What you need to have, though, is a solid defence if you're going to stay in this division, that's for sure.
I think they've recruited a certain type and profile of player, and we talked about physicality half an hour ago in regards to Florian Wirtz. One of the players that certainly fits that mould is Anton Stack, and he's come in the middle of the park, and he's very, very popular amongst the Leeds fans. Not
on
least
social media
for his social media. Today he's put a picture of a bargain bucket with, instead of KFC, LUFC over
Brilliant.
the front.
I didn't even spot that. That's absolutely excellent. And when you look at the team that they were last season in the Championship, and I don't know how much of that you watched as well, Stuart Pearce, do you feel that they look compact, for what you've seen from highlights packages and things like that? Do you feel that they're a lot more compact? They've got, they've had some strong performances, haven't they, against Newcastle, against Bournemouth, against Fulham. They might not have got all the results that they wanted, but they look like a team that are quite hard to break down, actually, and not very fun to play against.
Yeah, I think that would be fair to say. Full well in this division, no matter how compact you are, there's teams in this division can rip you apart. They've got so much talent, but you're right, if he's coming to this division and thought to themselves, we're going to have to be hard to play against and hard to score against, great starting point, and from there you'll end up nicking points, and especially in this environment as well. I love coming up to Leeds, to be fair. I used to come up here in the 70s when I was a little that size, about an inch high.
By the way, when he says that high, he literally is showing me an inch and a half.
Great team,
my size,
Little Sam, as they like to call him.
This is a great place to come. Not changed a great deal apart from the far stand across from us here, but a very volatile place as well.
And And just a really quick word on Daniel Farke. I think he's brought quite a bit of humility, actually. In there. Not that he didn't last time, but I feel like there is a level of humility where people were writing him off, which we discussed at the top of the show. And that really bodes well when you're in charge of a team who are just trying to prove themselves in this league, but are going about it in a really good way.
I'll tell you what, when people write you off when you get a team promoted, you have a little wry smile at the end of hopefully this Premier League season when he keeps them in the division. And then people ask the same question again. Do you remember a year ago when they wanted you sacked? And you said, no, I can't remember.
I can't remember that.
But
don't know what you're talking about.
Well.
Bad signal, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, no, good luck to Daniel Farke for that one. Well, look, so much has been made, hasn't it, about newly promoted Leeds' record at home. I can tell you that everything is set up now for the game. The Premier League hoarding is up, and the teams are almost ready to walk out. Yeah, they're unbeaten in 23 here. They've, in fact, won 18 of those, and they've kept a clean in 15 of 23 matches here, nearly half. So it's going to be a tough one for the Spurs side under Thomas Frank, who, albeit the sample size being very small, 7 points in 3 away games so far. They actually have the best away record in the Premier League after 6 games. But Leeds, interestingly, Sam mentioned it earlier, they haven't won any of their last 11 Premier League matches that have kicked off before 3 p.m. And Spurs have beaten them in 9 of their last 11 with as well. Interesting twist on the numbers, but it's an interesting one for both managers. We talked about Farke, and he's got a little bit of something to prove. So does Thomas Frank. These are 2 head coaches with, the chance to make a huge impact this season. Of the 5 times they've faced each other, 4 in the Championship, 1 in the Premier League, Farke has never lost to Thomas Frank. I wonder if he can mastermind another good show this lunchtime. It's a really tough one to call, and luckily I'm not calling it. It's the Nottingham Forest legend and former England captain Stuart Pearce who's calling it, alongside Talksport football commentator Sam Matterface. Over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Reshmin. Hello, everyone. A week is a very long time in football. 7 days, Tottenham have fought back from 1-0 down at home, travelled to the Arctic Circle, produced an underwhelming display, snatched a point and set off for Yorkshire. But a year, now that is a really long time in football. Most managers' tenures aren't even that long these days, but that's how long it's been since Leeds United lost a home league game in this stadium. In fact, it's 1 year and 20 days since Burnley last inflicted a defeat here in the Championship. No wonder coming to Ellen Road has become a joy for these Leeds supporters. Already this campaign they have held Newcastle and Bournemouth and beaten Everton here on the opening night, and now they face Thomas Frank and his transitional Tottenham. Spurs have made their best start to a season defensively for 9 years. They're unbeaten in their last 6 games, but they've had to come from behind and scrapped too often to rescue points lately. The last 2 games have not been quite what they hoped for, and now Spurs are walking into Fortress Ellen Road. The former captain of England and coach Stuart Pearce is here. They pump out I predict a riot when they have a good game in this stadium, but there's less chaos about both these teams this season, isn't there?
I think so. I think there's a real stability about Spurs, which inherently seem to be an up and down sort of club in criticism, lack of silverware. Got some silverware back end of the season. Thomas Frank is an inspired appointment for me from Tottenham's point of view, and Farke's got the team up, and they've had a good solid start to a Premier League campaign.
Well, stability certainly is the case for Daniel Farke and Leeds United. They name an unchanged team for the 4th consecutive match in the Premier League, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin starts 4 Premier League games in a row for the first time in 2 years. Darlow is their goalkeeper. Bogle, Roden, Strout and Gudmundsson the back 4. Longstaff, Ampadu and Stack in the middle of the park, with Aronson, Calvert-Lewin and Okafor leading the attack. Richarlison, Ampel and Johnson drop out of the Spurs side for Kudus and Tell, who amongst 6 changes for Thomas Frank. Vicario is the goalkeeper. The back 4, Porro, Romero, Van de Ven and Udogi. It's Paulinho and Bentancur in the centre, with Mohamed Kudus, who's had a productive start to his Spurs career, Xavi Simons and Wilson Odobert behind Matthijs Tell in attack. Referee today is Tom Bramall, who produced one of the most talked about red cards in the Premier League this season. Well, not even the Premier League, it was in the Carabao Cup when he ended up sending off Hugo Ekitike and for taking his shirt off in that competition. Subsequently missing the last weekend's Premier League match. Today's in charge of this with Ian Hussin and Andrew Dallison, and the VAR is Jared Gillett. The two teams go into huddles either side of the halfway line. Leeds in all white, Tottenham head to toe in black. They will shoot from right to left in the first half. Leeds from left to right towards the Norman Hunter stand away to our right hand side. The Spurs fans are down in the bottom corner away to our right hand side, just towards the right side of Daniel Farke's dugout. He's standing right on the edge of the technical area. Right now on Talksport 2, we've got Championship action, Sheffield Wednesday against Coventry. Later on Talksport, Adrian Durham takes you round the grounds. Troy Deeney is alongside him as well. 2:30 we start that. Tomorrow, what a day of action. Game day live from 1:30. Every kick, every game, every goal. It has to be Talksport, the home of football soul. We're off and underway at Ellen Road, where we start our weekend. Leeds never lose here, and visitors Tottenham arrive having won just one of their last 9 Premier League games following a midweek European match night. The ball out of play, away to our left immediately, and out for the first goal kick of the game. Leeds United all in white, and the goal kick will be taken by Pascal Strauch away to our left-hand side, who will send it to Darlow short, and then Darlow will pump it right down the middle of the pitch up in towards Calvert-Lewin. It's over his head and goes through to Van der Ven, but they win the second ball. Leeds give it away. Porro sends it over the top of the Leeds defence. Rodon scurries to reach it, and then Bogle plays it forward, and it's a bit scrappy in the early exchanges with the ball spending a lot of time in the air, but they've won it through Aronson and now Longstaff inside the Leeds midfield, just short of the halfway line, right of centre. Back to Bogle, who teases it down the touchline. Van der Ven in a foot race with Calvert-Lewin, gets a nudge off Van der Ven. The ball spills behind and goes out for a goal kick. I think there's a lot of things that Dominic Calvert-Lewin can do. He's strong, he can hold up the ball, and he will cause a threat, but trying to outpace Mickey Van der Ven is going to be a very difficult prospect, Stuart Pearce.
I'll tell you what, we've had 2 occasions there. One long ball that's come up and Van der Ven's dominated Calvert-Lewin with a header, and the second one, he was favourite to get that. Good movement by Calvert-Lewin down the channel, but Van der Ven just nudged him off the ball, and he's got to do slightly better than that if Leeds are going to get a decent foothold in the game.
Romero missed the game in the Arctic in midweek, and he nudges the ball forward towards halfway. It runs kindly for a doggy on this left-hand side, and he combines with Odeberg, then gets it back down the left and then pulls it into the area before it can reach till Ampadu is there. Stack has to react because Bentancur was coming from behind, right on the edge of the D, facing his own goal there, Stack, and he knocked it back to the goalkeeper Carl Darlow away to our left-hand side. Spurs started the first half against Wolves brilliantly. Mohamed Kudus getting in the game and running the show very early on. The game though changed in the second half. Wolves made changes, alterations that unsettled Tottenham Hotspur, and Spurs were happy to rescue a point at the end, but overall it was a missed opportunity against Bodo Glimt in the midweek. It was the other way round. They started poorly and had to try and rescue a point right at the very end, which they successfully did.
I'll tell you what, I've been a little bit disappointed the way Leeds have started this game. You know, they look half subservient to Tottenham, and they shouldn't be. They should be coming out here, they do their warm-ups, their rallying cries, huddles and all that, and you come out and I think they've half been dominated by Tottenham, who've settled into the game quite well.
A little tentative, you would say.
That's the word I'm looking for.
In the opening couple of minutes here, we've nearly played 3 minutes and it's 0-0, but here's Stack under pressure, guides it back to Ampadu, who got injured on opening night, then missed the subsequent 3 games, but he's back in the team now. Bogle forward, looking for Calvert-Lewin, who does fight to win there ahead of Bentancur. There's a good tackle by Longstaff ahead of Palinha. He bounces kindly for Stack. He helps it on, out into the wide left position, and Leeds are on the attack here. Okafor now bounds towards the edge of the area, takes on one defender, goes past him, runs into Romero, hacks it behind. It's out for the first corner of the game, and it's a Leeds United one.
Yeah, much better there. As I say, 2 challenges that put them on the front foot, and all of a sudden it rocks Tottenham a little bit. They want to settle into a game away from home at Leeds that on paper looks a real tough fixture for them. and it's the first time Leeds have really got on the front foot in this game.
Leeds 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. And we played just 3.5 minutes, nearly 4 minutes now, here on Talksport this Saturday lunchtime. A ball into the box, it's towards the far post, Stack hits it. And it looked like it took a little deflection on the way through, but it might have been a Leeds body. I mean, he hit it on the volley coming onto the ball just inside the area at the back post. He didn't catch it. Well, he caught it cleanly, but it was miles off target. Ampadu tried to intervene, and even his header, which was sending it back the other way, was miles wide. So it shows you where that was going, probably closer to the corner flag than the goal. But it was an opportunity because he was unmarked just at the back edge of the penalty area.
Well, he was, but it was a brilliantly worked situation. There was no doubt about it. They've aimed for that. It was hit with the laces to the far post. Not sure which Leeds player run the defender under the ball, and that left Stack available, and he called it brilliantly, I've got to say.
Well, Daniel Farke has taken on the lessons learned at Norwich. He's tried to build a more resilient, stronger team than the leaky version of the Whites that emerged under Marcelo Bielsa and Jesse Marsch, although they were entertaining teams to watch. And this team a little bit more pragmatic. They use set pieces and longer balls really well. They want to have a little bit of control in the game, but they are not slaves to possession. Here is Pascal Struijk picking the ball up and taking it into midfield. Gets it to Rodon, then back out to the left, and then the dart forward by Stack in the inside left channel is ignored, and they pick up Okafor instead, and he tries to go down the outside of Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro commits a foul there, and Tom Bramall very quick to go across and give him a warning. That's going to be a free kick 10 yards back from the left angle of the penalty area, about a yard or so in from the left touchline.
Yeah, he drove really well there, I've got to say. I'm not sure Porro wanted to foul him or even did foul him, but Okafor asked the question and run into him, and Leeds have got another opportunity to deliver into the box.
Coventry City have already taken the lead away at Hillsborough. They lead over on Talksport 2 thanks to Brandon Thomas Asante's in good form right now. Frank Lampard's team in fantastic form, aren't they? Doing a great job.
He settled in brilliantly there. It'd be fantastic to see Coventry up in the Premier League at some stage.
One of your former teams. Free kick from Stack towards the far post, and it hits the post from Rodon, who comes round the back and heads it towards goal and clatters the post. Brilliant delivery, fantastic header, and a real opportunity. And Leeds United, who then come forward with Stroud trying to get into the penalty area, completely misses the ball, it goes behind and out for a goal kick, have had the best chance of the game. The free kick into the box, Rodon coming round the back, he hits the post.
Well, I've got to say, Vicario at 6s and 7s, he's come out, misjudged the flight of the ball, exposed his goal. It was there to be headed in, and I think it'll end up being down as a bad miss, Sam, personally.
Well, Vicario, who hasn't really convinced many Tottenham fans, actually, with some of his attempts to come and claim set pieces, has made some really good saves in the Premier League season, but those wobbles from dead ball situations have caused panic, and that certainly gave Leeds a gilt-edged opportunity to take the lead here inside the first 8 minutes of the game. Rodon at the back post from the free kick, which almost found its way to goal. The frame of the goal stopping it from registering, and as a result of that, it remains 0-0 here. Not the case in the WSL with Natalie Pike.
City 1, Arsenal 0, and the goals come, of course it has, for Bonnie Shaw, her 5th goal in the WSL so far this season. Kirsten Kasperaj with the cross, and of course Bonnie Shaw got onto the end of it to power the ball into the back of the Arsenal net. Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0. Kasperaj's
a really good player, isn't she? And Bonnie Shaw once again delivering in front of goal, the Jamaican international. Manchester City delighted to have her. Here is Xabi Simons for Tottenham Hotspur. 0-0 here in the Premier League. As Leeds United hit the post in the first few minutes of the game here. Here is Romero recovering from his injury. The medical staff did a good job on him after a kick in the last game against Wolves, given away by Pedro Porro. Actually hasn't settled too well over on that far side. He's had a bit of trouble with Okafor and Goodmonson, who's been getting forward. And now Leeds have possession once again, just short of the halfway line. 0-0 the score. Stout now plays it square. Rodon, who hit the post, has got Bogle outside him on this right side and trying to get into a bit of room, and it was a good pass by Rodon actually, and it evaded Odebear, who went to try and stick with Bogle. If he'd just got hold of that, Bogle, he was free down the right touchline and looking to try and expose a gap that had been left by Destiny Adogi, who'd wandered into a sort of midfield position.
Yeah, as I say, I'm surprised Leeds have not turned Tottenham round a bit more often than they did. They've had that one ball slid up the inside right channel.
Here come Tottenham over on the far side. Ball collected by Pedro Porro. Xavi Simons sends it wide out towards the right hand side. It comes back into the midfield, and now it's with Romero. On the turn is Kudus. Kudus getting away from one challenge and then another, and the slide tackle came in and he evaded it brilliantly. Back out to the left it goes to Destiny Adogi. Palinia onto Bentancur, is engaged by Gudmundsson, who went in for a cracking challenge but didn't quite get hold of the ball. Odebear delivers a cross from the right hand side. It's poked away but only as far as Palinia, who's shot over the top of the crossbar, goes wild and into the stand away to our left hand side.
Yeah, good ball in. Rodon just angled the right leg at it. Really poor clearance, I've got to say, and the ball's ended up. Sorry, I've misjudged, I think, and give Rodon the responsibility for a poor pass, and it wasn't him. But the ball's ended up. It was Ampadu. Ball's ended up going to the edge of the box, and he should have done a lot better with the half volley.
Milton Keynes Dons secured their first win in 5 league games at Shrewsbury last week, and they are in front against Gillingham in League 2 by a 1-0. Ball comes towards the edge of the area. A long kick down the middle of the park by Carl Darlow, and it goes all the way through to Vicario, who's about a yard outside his area, and he went to sort of try and pick it up, then realised where he was, decided not to, and scurried back into his 18-yard box, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, I think Calvert-Lewin should have been chasing him down a little bit stronger than he actually was, really, you know. So he's come out of his box, as you rightly say, and got caught in a little bit of no man's land.
Well, it's still 0-0, but it's been pretty lively so far. We've had that opportunity from Joe Rodon. Tottenham started the game quite well, but then have just seen Leeds get a little bit more of a foothold in it. Thomas Frank just talking to Justin Cochran, one of his coaching staff, as Calvert-Lewin goes on the chase down the left-hand side. It goes all the way through to Vicario.
I think what he's saying to him, I was looking at his body language just before, when the goalkeeper arrived at Vicario, he's gesturing with his right arm that they get it forward a little bit quicker and speed up the tempo of the game. When the ball was played in behind the back line of Leeds, it was a solid round of applause from him.
Kudus has just escaped the attentions of Gudmundsson. He's got in towards the edge of the area, but somehow Gudmundsson came back, did a brilliant job to win the ball back for Leeds United. It's a terrific attempt at a tackle from a distance where he didn't look favourite to win the ball, and he stopped Kudus from escaping into further territory. He looked for all the world as if he's got beyond him. He's taking him on again though, Kudus, down the left-hand side, comes in onto his left foot, produces a cross towards the edge of the 6-yard box, doesn't quite reach Odebear or Matthijs Tel. It's half cleared. Palinia comes forward, charging into a congested midfield, and then Leeds escape with the ball, and Aronson on a lovely turn gets away from Romero, has a little kick at him, and the ball goes up to halfway, and it's going to be a free kick to Leeds United. 0-0 the score. You're listening to Talksport live at Ellen Road today. Leeds 0, Tottenham 0 on Talksport with Sky Sports, and don't forget, with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Chelsea-Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Leeds left-back Gudmundsson playing today. He's just been caught out by 2 or 3 occasions where they've spun him behind him, and he's not dealt with it well. And you're right in what you say, the recovery challenge was brilliant, but it was all down to his poor play and poor positional play that initiated that problem.
Ollie Palmer scores for Swindon away at Newport County, as Swindon lead by a 0-0. A long ball down the left-hand side for Leeds United, goes awry, and it goes straight out of play and away for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. And Tottenham's right side, and that left that you're talking about for Leeds United, is going to be the key area of the game, I think. Pedro Porro and Mohamed Kudus operate really well. There's a strong area of the pitch for them. 45.8 of their chances in the Premier League this season have been created from the right-hand side, compared to 25% on the left and 29% through the middle. And since the start of 2023-24, Pedro Porro has provided more assists in all competition than any other Premier League defender. From Longstaff and feeding it to Audebert on the edge of the box. He tries to jig back in on his right foot, but when he does that, he runs into Bogle, and Bogle brings the ball away and covered his centre half really well.
Yeah, once again, it's that man Kudus, and he went past one, went past two. All of a sudden, he found a great ball through. But I think Audebert was the one who just couldn't get a finish away.
A minor pitch invasion has stopped the game at Sheffield Wednesday. I think it's to do with a protest over the owner, Delphine Chancerai. Our EFL presenter Hugh Wozencroft has been in touch to pass on that information. So there's a delay in the game over on Talksport 2. Here is a doggy up to Audebert on halfway. Bounces kindly for a doggy, but Rodon reacts brilliantly, and Calvert-Lewin gets hold of the clearance upfield and then plays it behind Aronson, who spirals away. And then it's won back by Audebert, turned over by Tottenham, and now it's an opportunity for them to break. Just right of the centre circle. Kudus onto Porro. Porro fires it in towards Tell. He dabs it back to Audebert. A little flick out to Simon. Simon's trying to turn and get on the ball here. Plays it down the left channel. A doggy is broken into that. He pulls it through the 18-yard box, saved by Darlow, and then cleared as far as Simons. Comes back to Palhinha, who struck it again, blocked by Stack. And it bounces into the path of Pedro Porro. 0-0 the score. This is Talksport Saturday lunchtime. Kudus sending the ball forward into the path of Bentancur, blocked by Gudmundsson, and it's out of play and away for a flowing level with the edge of the penalty area.
Once again, Leeds, for me, architects of their own sort of downfall in that last attack. Ball's come up to Calvert-Lewin. He's had a runner gone beyond him out wide, and he's given the ball straight away. You've got to let him go and go for a 2-on-1 scenario. The timing of the pass was poor. They lost the ball, and Spurs initiated a good attack from it.
Destiny Udogie has gone wandering over to the far side to pick up the ball. He's delaying the start of the game here. He's gone all the way over to the far side. I thought left back going over to the right wing position to take a throw. There had to be something special planned. There wasn't. He just threw the ball into Pedro Porro. He sends the cross into the centre. It's headed away by Longstaff. Picked up on the edge of the centre circle by Audebert. He finds Simons. Simons plays it down the left. Udogie offside. Flag was up. Everyone was waiting for it. Eventually the free kick is given. This is Talksport. We've played 17 minutes. It's Leeds United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0.
Yeah, Spurs have just found those one-on-one scenarios on a couple of occasions a little bit too easy to get past Leeds players. Longstaff just been taken on a couple of times and beaten. Kudus obviously has got the beating of a lot of players on the pitch, and it's those little match-ups and one-on-ones that Leeds have got to make sure they don't keep getting beaten.
Coventry City lead Sheffield Wednesday by a 1-0 over on Talksport 2, but there's been a brief delay in that game. More details emerging. Here is Strauch over on the far side. As we mentioned earlier, that delay down to a fan protest over the club's current leadership. We know that is Delphine Chancerai. They are getting back underway now, though. Here's Aronson into the penalty area from the right edge of the penalty area. Ball hit away only as far as Longstaff, and there was a bit of a collision on the edge of the area involving Romero, but Leeds have got the ball. Down the left they come with Gudmundsson. He turns, crosses it into the near post, blocked by Porro, goes out for another corner to Leeds United.
Yeah, another good opportunity here for Leeds. Stack taking his position where he had that volley from the corner earlier. Be interesting to see whether he's just wandered into the box on this occasion, I think.
Stack has gone towards the far post, the near post. Ampadu gone towards the far post. Calvert-Lewin is in the 6-yard area, and now Strauch is trying to fight with Udogie. He's come towards the near post, and that's left a gap at the back post, and Palhinha has to come across and just glanced the ball away because Rodon was the intended target again, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, he certainly was. If I was Leeds, I would be very interested in doing a crowd scene around Vicario, because for me, he's not offering any confidence to his back line. I don't think he really wants to come for too much.
Ampadu is going to take a long throw now from the near touch line. He's come down the camber by the side of the pitch, and he's going to try and launch a catapult into the box. And he does get right into the 6-yard area with that delivery, and it bounces inside the box, and someone has to take emergency action. Eventually it was Matisse Tell who managed to smack it to halfway, but it did cause real confusion, that long throw into the box from Ampadu, who couldn't get the ball under control when it came back to him on the right-hand side, and he's rather carelessly given it away. And Xavi Simons is moving up the field down the left-hand touchline. Back towards halfway it goes. A doggy to Paulinho. And Paulinho just settles things down for Tottenham Hotspur after what was quite a shaky situation from that throw.
Yeah, it certainly was. Tottenham didn't take charge of it at all. Be interesting to ask all the managers, you know, why is it you've managed for 20, 25 years and never taken a long throw, and then all of a sudden everyone takes a long throw in the league? What is that all about?
It's a little bit like you know, for 20 years you wouldn't wear bell-bottom jeans, and now you're doing it every week.
I've been wearing bell-bottoms since the mid-70s, my friend, so don't think I'm a Johnny-come-lately on the bell-bottom front.
You've just got braver, you're starting to wear them to work.
And to those special clubs I go to. Yeah, you can't follow that up, can you, eh?
I'm not following you anywhere when it comes to special clubs. Here is Xavi Simons going into the box, goes down under very little pressure after losing control of the ball, and it goes straight into the arms of Carl Darlow, and he picks it up and clears it away. This is Talksport. It is Saturday afternoon. Remember, later on, 2:30, we go round the grounds with Adrian Durham, and it's the only place to ensure you get a full classified check. There's a handball by a doggy, quite obviously, on this near side. And the referee didn't call it.
No, both officials in close attendance didn't seem to see it, but everyone else in Ellen Road did.
Rodon brings the ball out of the sky, turns it infield, picked up by Ampadu, and they keep possession well here, Leeds United, who have, after a tentative start, just grown into the game a little bit, and Spurs have just been rocked by a couple of balls into their box that have unsettled their defence.
Yeah, that's certainly been the case. Set plays in look as though they could be Leeds' best way forward. Tottenham have worked some good opportunities around the box but not found a finish.
Rodon into Strauch at the heart of the Leeds defence. Daniel Farke, who has integrated a lot of new signings in the summer, including Longstaff, Gudmundsson, amongst those Dominic Calvert-Lewin now as well, amongst, I suppose, a core group of player that helped them to get out of the Championship, as Kudus goes wiring in on the far side on a Leeds United player. It was Anton Stack who ended up getting challenged rather fiercely by Kudus, and a yellow card has come out as a result of that. Half-time in the WSL, Natalie Pike.
It's Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0, and it was a fairly evenly poised to opening half an hour. Neither side really took control of the game, but City had the better chances, breaking the deadlock in the 36th minute. A superb cross from the electric Kasparai down the right was met by Bunny Shaw with a brave diving header. Arsenal had a few nervy moments playing out from the back and were nearly punished, but City go into the break deservedly ahead. Half-time, Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0.
Bogle near touchline on the right-hand side, picks it up for Leeds and wanders infield. They're in possession again after that free kick, which generated the first yellow card of the game for Mohamed Kudus, who actually started quite brightly. Darlow, edge of the area, away to our left. He will send the ball long out towards the far side. It's headed away by Porro, and Gudmundsson's got really high up over on that left-hand side. There's a bit of space that he's vacated, and Matisse Tell has run into it. Spurs now come forward into the box. A right-footed shot takes a deflection, and it goes past Darlow and in. And Matisse Tell gets his first goal of the season. Gudmundsson went herring up the pitch. The gap that he left behind, Matisse Tell ran into him. When the ball turned over, he went charging towards the edge of the box, fired a shot towards the near post. Strauch got a touch on it, diverted it past Darlow, and it's 1-0 Spurs.
Yeah, the deflection was the big one. Ball in behind, and as you say, we're looking straight across this Leeds back line. There was a big gap in behind it as they've pushed up. They've lost possession of the ball in midfield, failed to win a tackle, and then the counter-attack, ball in behind. And to be fair, they solved the issue until Tell got his finish away that took a wicked deflection over Darlow's flailing left hand.
Well, I'm not sure whether it's going to go down as an own goal or whether it's going to go down as Matisse Tell's goal. Maybe because it was on target, it will go down as Tell's goal. Either way, Tottenham Hotspur have the lead in the game. And Thomas Frankie's celebrating. He was very, very happy about it. And I think that would just relieve a little bit of pressure on Tottenham Hotspur, because you could argue that Leeds had the better chances up until that point.
Yeah, as I say, probably Tottenham had a lot of decent chances in and around the sort of just outside the box area, if you like, but hadn't got a decent finish away. When they did get a decent strike away, it was a wicked deflection that beat Darlow.
Stack chasing, Bentancur gets the ball, sent away by Pedro Porro, picked up by Strauch, and now Gudmundsson and Stack have it far side the left for Gudmundsson, who takes on the left wing, gets down past Porro, produced a cross into the box, too high for everyone, runs through the 18-yard box, and then Leeds retrieve it with Bogle. Bogle on the near touchline, trying to hand off Audebert. Back to Ampadu in the centre of midfield. Now Aronson again, right side, looking for Calvert-Lewin inside the area. The cross that he attempted took a deflection, and now they sprint forward, Tottenham, to try and break, but Rodon is going to come across to cover and mop up for Leeds United, who trail here by a goal to nil. Matisse Tell with the effort, deflected by Strout beyond the goalkeeper Carl Darlow, and it's 1-0 to the away team.
I think where Leeds have let themselves down slightly, I would say, is when they've played balls forward over distance to their front line. Their front line have not either A, secured the ball, or secondly put a challenge on that even should be anywhere near a decent challenge, and we're seeing the ball go up and come back as we speak.
Well, there was a prime example of it as you were talking there, where Calvert-Lewin dipped it in front of Romero, and he did get something on the ball, but he didn't get anywhere near enough on the ball to hold on to it or protect it well enough. But they win it back high on the edge of the area, and Calvert-Lewin goes through and sends it over the top of the crossbar. Well, it was one back over on the far side by Noah Okafor. It spilt kindly for Calvert-Lewin, who was inside the penalty area. He could feel the hot breath of Mickey van der Ven breathing down his neck as he went to pull the trigger. He did then pull the trigger, and he fired it over the top of the crossbar.
For me, I'm looking at a centre forward here that looks woefully game short, if I'm being quite honest with you. He's turned the ball over, he's got a free run at the goal, he's taken 3 chances where one would have done, out your feet and unload one, get your body shape right, curl it into the far corner to show to us exactly what you're attempting to do. It was a poor effort.
Now they break again, Tottenham, and it's picked up by a doggy. He's got Tell in attendance. He gets to the edge of the area, switched it out to Mo Kudus over the bar. Edge of the box, leaning back, left-footed, should have curled it in, should have definitely hit the target. He spurned a great opportunity to put Tottenham into a 2-0 lead, Stuart Pearce.
I've got to say, Sam, this is the Premier League. These pitches are like, you know, crown green bowling surfaces. You're not going to get a bobble. When you come on to things like that, up one end to our left with Kudus, he's missed the target badly. Up the other end, Calvert-Lewin takes 4 touches when 2 will do. And they should be nestling in the back of the net. They really should.
Well, that's a real let-off for Leeds United, because they could find themselves 2-0 down in the game. But it's a let-off for Tottenham in a sense as well, because they could be in trouble. They've hit the post, Leeds, and Calvert-Lewin has spurned a good chance. Calvert-Lewin plays it against Van der Ven. Ball goes out for a throw-in away to our right-hand side. Stuart Pearce, I'm not sure he's entirely impressed with the performance of Leeds' new number 9.
No, I think he's... If it's me, I've come to a new club and Van der Ven's just gone through him. He almost dismissed him with the ball at his feet. He dismissed him. You can tell by the way he's playing against him that he fears him not at all, to be quite honest with you. And I think he's half injured him.
Throw in on this near touchline to be taken by Ampadu. We know he caused chaos from the last long throw into the box. Can he do it again? He takes a long run up, launches it high into the air. It loops in towards the 18-yard box, and again Calvert-Lewin is hobbling as the ball comes towards him. That allows a rather easy clearance for Bentancur, and it's put out of play.
I think he's shaking his knee ligaments there with that challenge, but Van der Ven, credit to him, good defending. He's looked at him, you know. Calvert-Lewin's received the ball in a wide area, and normally as a centre half coming out there, his body language just went out and said, you ain't going to beat me, I'm just going to go through you and take it off you.
Rodon into Longstaff. Longstaff tries to push it out towards the far side. Eventually it reaches Gudmundsson. He's stopped in his tracks by Pedro Porro, but only briefly. Okafor trying to turn, get a trick away to get into a wide position and get across him, but he overhit the ball. And the new signing from AC Milan wanders out of play with possession, and it's out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. You're listening to Talksport, 29 minutes gone, and Leeds are behind to Tottenham by a goal to nil. Calvert-Lewin still holding on to that left knee inside the D away to our right-hand side.
Yep, his next challenge on that knee, if he's jarred his knee ligaments, it's happened to me before. You play on, you think you're okay, and then you attempt to side foot the ball or block challenge, and there's a big problem.
Here's Simons trying to cause another big problem for Leeds United. A doggy in towards Odegaard, doesn't reach him or Simons, and then it's cleared away by Ampadu. And I think he tried to sort of dolly it up for Calvert-Lewin, but Calvert-Lewin couldn't spin into that channel, and it goes straight the way through to Vicario.
Until they start getting a hold of the ball at centre forward position, Leeds, they're going to struggle, I think.
Barnsley lead by a goal to nil away at Wycombe Wanderers. Rhys Cleary with the goal after 25 minutes. And let's get the latest odds, all thanks to Betfair, where right now you can get Leeds at 6-1 to come back and win the game. Spurs 2-1 on to win the match, and the draw is 3-1. That's all thanks to Betfair. Playing a different league this season with Safe Sub from Betfair. 18+, speedgambleaware.org. Here's Kudus into the penalty area, looking towards the far post. Odegaard with an effort, and it comes, I think, off Bogle into the air and caught well by Darlow. But again, another opportunity across from the left, the right-hand side with the left foot from Kudus in behind the defence. And actually, I just wondered whether Odegaard could have done a little bit more there. Yeah,
I don't think he got first contact, actually. I think good defending at the far post by Bogle has managed to secure it back to his goalie.
Yeah, I think it came off Bogle's left foot and then hit the arm of the defender as well on the way through to Darlow. They turn it over again, Tottenham Hotspur. Ball played forward by Tell, and it's out towards Bentancur now as it loops out from the sky. Was there a handball there? Tell has gone down and wants a free kick. Referee's played on. Longstaff is on the attack. Tell still down. Tottenham down to 10 players. Aronson's on the outside if he can find him. Wasn't a great pass. He was challenged by Polinia as they went, and Polinia has brought him down. The attack has come to an end, and Tom Bramall has given the free kick in favour of Leeds, 15 yards inside Tottenham territory, wide on the right hand side. I mentioned that Tell was still down. He's now getting some treatment away to our left, and that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, Leeds, as I say, surged into Tottenham's half there, but they didn't have numbers, did they? Didn't have pace and didn't have numbers to get up and support the attack, and Longstaff getting fouled was probably the best outcome for them. Got the opportunity to toss the ball in the box.
Doesn't that not go down as breaking up a promising attack from Polinia? I mean, not that I'm interested in him getting booked for a charity bet or anything.
Yeah, I just think that there was other Tottenham numbers around it. He was... oh, I see what you mean. Yes, I definitely think so. So. Excuse my ignorance. I was giving an honest opinion, and we obviously don't need that today, do we?
Hull 1, Sheffield United 0. David Akintola with a goal after 30 minutes. So the worst defence in the Championship, Hull City, but they're in front against Sheffield United. Tell still down away to our left-hand side. Still having a bit of an issue here, and Tottenham waiting to see what they're going to do with him before this free kick is allowed to be taken. He's slowly but surely, gingerly getting back to his feet away to our left, Mattis Tell, and he goes off over on the far side, hoping that he can shake off that injury. Away to our right, we have a free kick which is going to be taken by Longstaff. This is about 18 yards, 19 yards inside opposition territory, and Longstaff is going to take it. Tom Bramall now just coming out to have a word with Bogle about something, and then he then wanders over towards Longstaff, checks on his plans, takes Odegaard back a couple of extra yards, and we're being very officious here. And now we have the free kick eventually, and we've played 33 minutes. And it's 1-0 to Spurs on Talksport. Here is Longstaff to take it, right-footed, floating the ball towards the far post, looking for Rodon, who's unmarked, into the area. It scoots through the penalty box once again, then comes back out on the edge of the area towards Ampadu, but it's fended away by Spurs, who got a little bit lucky with the defending again there, Stuart Pearce, after what was a situation where Rodon found himself free on the edge of the penalty area once more.
Yeah, he tossed it up to the far post, laced it basically to the far post. The movement isolated Rodon, and he just popped it back into the danger zone. But once again, you're hoping the likes of Calvert-Lewin's going to be give a physical presence and get his head on the end of things.
Ball into the penalty area. There's 2 balls on the pitch as the ball goes in towards the far post. Saved by the goalkeeper, comes back, and it's popped in by Okafor, and it's 1-1. There were 2 balls on the pitch at the time. The shot came in from the edge of the area. It was parried by Vicario, and then Okafor, bearing down on the rebound, popped it in, and it's 1-1 at Ellen Road.
Yeah, when you say there was 2 balls on the pitch, one was an inflatable ball. It wasn't actually a match ball that had come out the crowd. But I've got to say, credit to Calvert-Lewin on that occasion. He offered himself as a great bump pass in the box. Ball's come in. He's just took all the sting out of it, laid it off, the shot come in, and from that the goalie could not clear his zone. He's left it after a deflection into a danger area, and Okafor was Johnny on the spot. Deflection as well off a Spurs player. It's an inflatable ball, literally, as the ball was bouncing just in front of the goal line, an inflatable ball coming from nowhere that rolled in from right to left.
Okafor with the telling touch, 35 minutes in, Leeds 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1, and Tottenham have allowed Leeds back into the game. In fairness to Leeds United, I think, apart from the fact that Calvert-Lewin hasn't been able to hold the ball up, there've been opportunities for them. They've hit the post. They had another opportunity when Calvert-Lewin had the ball turned over because of Okafor's good work on the left edge of the area, and now they've got on the score sheet 10 minutes before half-time, and it's 1-1 at Ellen Road, a place where this team, they just don't lose. Here's Aronson coming forward through the middle of the pitch, plays it out towards Bogle. Bogle now travels back towards the halfway line. It's collected by Rodon, and Leeds United come forward once again, looking to now swing the momentum in their favour. Destiny Udogie with a hefty challenge on Aronson, whose shot it was from the edge of the area that Vicario spilt, and Okafor popped it home from 4 yards away from the goal.
Yeah, we're about 36 minutes in, Sam, and both teams, I think, have demonstrated that they've got a sort of weakness, not a solid performance from both sides, and the game being 1-1, both of them look a little bit fragile in what they do defensively.
Doncaster Rovers 1, Burton Albion 0 in League 1, and in the Championship it's 2-0 to Coventry now. Another goal for Brandon Thomas Asante, leading Sheffield Wednesday on Talksport 2. And Okafor just felt as if he was pushed off the ball there by Kudus in a rather aggressive manner. The referee didn't concur.
Yeah, I think he was right as well. I think that was a foul, personally.
And if it had have been, Kudus has already been booked, might have been in trouble. Here is Stack winning the ball back, high inside Tottenham's half. He squares it to Aronson, back to the edge of the area. Longstaff with another shot over the bar.
Should be doing better there. He's had a swing at the first one. The ball stayed in place, and then he's had a go at the second. It's too hard, but opportunities like that, you've got to do slightly better. Admittedly, it was sort of between both feet, if you like.
You're listening to Leeds 1, Tottenham 1 on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. And certainly, the longer the game has gone on, Leeds have been here for it. This is Talksport. Later on today, Game Day Live with Adrian Durham, Troy Deeney and Dean Ashton. Derby Southampton at 3 over on Talksport 2. Ipswich Norwich tomorrow is the Old Farm game. Scott Minto will be alongside Joe Shen. Don't look at me like that. Oh, all right, it's not the Old Farm game then. It's Ipswich Norwich, the East Anglian derby. Is that better for you? Ipswich fan with us today. Here's Stack picking the ball up edge of the area, sending it wide towards Okafor. Okafor down the left side of the box, right-footed cross in towards Calvert-Lewin. It's too high for him, and it's headed away by Udogie at the far post. But there's the wind in the sails of the Leeds United supporters now, and this team.
Yeah, the Leeds fans certainly are buoyed up by that goal.
There's a problem here for, is it Rodrigo Bentancur inside the field? No, it's Romero, who's gone down, and he, remember, missed the game in midweek because of a foot injury. Someone had stamped on his foot. They repaired that, but his boot has come off again inside the penalty area away to our right-hand side. He's just reattaching that and now being helped to his feet by Mickey van der Ven. They'll need him concentrated here. Andreas Georgesson, who is the set-piece coach of Tottenham, trying to orchestrate proceedings here as a big torpedo comes in from Ampadu. Oh, I'm not sure about the flick on from strike, but it certainly went into the air and caused a little bit of confusion. It is eventually away by Bentancur as it drops out of the sky, and it's up to halfway. Simons with a little push on Aronson. Those two wrestle for the ball. Aronson eventually comes away with it, and Leeds have possession inside their own half. 1-1 the score. Talksport coming forward on the left is Gudmundsson. Back into Strauch again.
You get the impression, Sam, when that ball comes in the Tottenham box, there isn't a dominant figure there that wants to go and hit it.
Do you think they're panicked a little bit by the indecisiveness of the goalkeeper as well?
Yeah, I do. I think when you know full well your goalkeeper's not going to come for a great deal unless it's a cherry picker, then you're always under that little bit of pressure. But then again, you would think that they would switch the bias onto the defenders that say, well, I know he's not coming, at least I know where I stand, you know.
I'll tell you what, Aronson just twisted away from the defender and got caught by a doggy, and the referee didn't give a foul. Everyone was a bit furious about that. Bogle's won it back inside the right full-back area for Leeds United. Aronson comes forward, plays it in behind the defence. Calvert-Lewin joins the attack. There was a foul there. The Leeds bench are going crazy. Calvert-Lewin's got it down in the corner of the pitch. He's walked out of the pitch with the ball. And now they want a yellow card. And they're going to give one to João Palhinha.
Yeah, and rightly so. He was late on the challenge. Once again, Calvert-Lewin galloping into the channel. Should do better there, shouldn't he? Holding it up. Oh, and I think a rightful booking as well.
I think we're happy about that. Details at half-time. Throw-in on the near side. Well, Palhinha's now having a word with the referee, and he's arguing quite vociferously with the referee, Tom Bramall. The Leeds bench were actually furious about the challenge that took place on the near touchline after the ball had gone down the right-hand side into the path of Calvert-Lewin. And they have a throw-in now after Calvert-Lewin took the ball out of play. 1-1, spicy here, 5 minutes to go. This is Talksport. Ball up towards halfway, headed on by Tell. Cleared away by Bogle. Forward again by Palhinha. Up to the halfway line, Palhinha again, chested down by Tell, and now picked up by Okafor. It was a loose ball by Tell, who's recovered from his ailments. Okafor testing the pace of Porro and Bentancur, who swept in and managed to hook the ball, but it didn't go out of play. And eventually, when it did, Bentancur went crunching into Gudmundsson, unnecessarily, I think, and the referee is going over to have a word with him as well. Goal in the WSL, Natalie Pike.
It's Manchester City 1, Arsenal 1, just 1 minute into the second half. Mariona Caldenti, the Ballon d'Or runner-up, has equalised. It was Fox with the low cross to Caldenti in the box, who smashed the ball past Yamashita. Manchester City 1, Arsenal 1.
Cheers, Natalie, thank you very much. It's 1-1 here as well in the Premier League. And Leeds United got the chance to go up into the top 5 if they get a victory here today. I think when they went 1-0 down, that looked and felt unlikely, but having equalised, the momentum has been with them in the last few minutes or so, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, it's certainly, they've got their tails up, they've grown with confidence with this goal, without a doubt, and the fans have responded in kind.
A big weekend of Premier League football, all of it reviewed on The Breakfast Show on Monday morning. Ali McCoist is joined by Gabby Agbonlahor. The comedian Chris McCausland is alongside them on Breakfast on Monday morning. And Jim White and Simon Jordan back together again 10 o'clock on Monday. And they're going to be joined by Emmanuel Petit. Now, Anton Stack has just robbed Mickey van der Ven of possession, 10 yards outside his own box. He went to try and take on the German. I'm not too sure there was too much in that from Anton Stack. Did he just lean across him with his left arm, which generated a foul?
Absolutely no foul at all there. If that's a foul, the game's in big problems.
I was going to say, it looked pretty soft to me, and I think the Leeds fans felt the same way. Kudus has recovered his feet, gone down the right-hand side. Foul by Ampadu. Free kick right on the touchline over on the far side. Certainly it's got a little bit more narky the longer the game has gone on. 1-1.
Yeah, a few little niggly fouls there, just barging into people. But certainly the one on Van der Ven, I'm not sure was, and he was fortunate. That would have been the second time Tottenham give the ball away, playing out from the back in an exposed area.
And no guarantees of what would happen next, but he was going into the box with no one else around him.
Indeed, yeah, it would have been a very, very good opportunity.
Tottenham might have the last opportunity of this first half. 90 seconds to go. You're listening to Talksport, and it's 1-1. Over on the far side, Pedro Porro has the chance to swing it in to the box here. He's in behind the defence with his delivery, looking to try and get beyond Rodon, who does brilliantly to drop and then head it clear. It goes out to the left-hand side now, and Simons then attacks the left edge of the penalty area. He's shackled by Longstaff, goes back to Palhinha, and then back to Jamie Simons again. He travels along the 18-yard line and pokes it back towards Bentancur, who shoots from distance. And Bentancur, who had a goal disallowed actually in midweek in the game against Bodø Glimt, was never really troubling any of the goalkeepers or actually any of the supporters in the bottom tier away to our left-hand side.
Let me ask you a question here. We've seen probably 4 or 5 shots from in and around the box, and all of them have been skied today, haven't they? None of them have been on target. None of them have been people have addressed the ball and you thought, yeah, I can see what you've done there, or work the goalkeeper. I think in this day and age, you know, they should be a lot better than that, personally.
3 minutes of added time in the game. Just trying desperately to get the statistics up for you, Stuart, as to how many shots we've had. 5 from Tottenham, only 1 on target. 8 from Leeds, only 2 on target. And I think that sort of sums up what you're saying.
Yeah, I just think players with the technique that they practice this day and age, the pitches being very true, the balls being nice to strike, how are they getting it so wrong?
Well, Mo Kudus is one of those who got it wrong in the first half. A left-footed effort that went over the top of the crossbar. Palhinha had an effort that went over the bar too. And an effort from the edge of the box from Longstaff that went over the bar. Calvert-Lewin raising one too high as well. It's been that sort of game so far, but we have had 2 goals, 1 apiece. Both of them have taken a little deflection as well on the way through. In the first one's case, a big deflection as the ball goes in the box towards Tell again, who heads the ball towards the top of the crossbar. I think Darlow got something on that and pushed it onto the bar as well. Calvert-Lewin collides with Mickey Van der Ven, maybe just upping the ante in their running battle as the ball comes back towards the edge of the area. And what a chance that was for Matthijs Tel, who went up to head the ball from the cross from the left-hand side from Udogie. And he did superbly. I think it was Hotspur actually who sent the ball into the centre, and the header helped onto the crossbar by Carl Darlow.
Yeah, I would probably have said that Carlo would have had that covered if it was under the crossbar, it's fair to say, but Leeds done well getting to the drop zone and clearing the area. We
got 4 minutes of added time at the end of the first half, and we're into the second of those, and it remains 1-1. Ampadu nudges it forward towards Aronson, who tries to get the wrong side of Udogie, who did well. Just about turned and kept his wicket clean. And then it's out towards this near side, and Hotspur, and he's beaten to it by Longstaff, who has done brilliantly and has actually played quite well. Nudged off the ball, Ampadu, by Xabi Simons. Free kick given. And Leeds United ironically cheer that. They believe that they haven't got away with much in the last few moments.
Yeah, definite foul for me. Simons coming back. I wager he's not done a lot of defensive work in his life, judging by that challenge. And what's so funny?
I love your takes. Here is Longstaff.
I think you'll find they're outtakes rather than takes.
Leeds United have already picked eight points up, bearing in mind it was the 28th of November last year when Crystal Palace picked up their 8th point, and the last year at the end of the first week of October, Wolves and Southampton had 1 point each. I think Leeds can say they've had a solid start to the season and a solid start to this match. They are in this game with Tottenham Hotspur. Now, Calvert-Lewin is adjudged to have fouled Romero. I think he looked at him in a rather aggressive manner there, and the referee blew the whistle, Stuart.
Yeah, as I say, my divining memory of Calvert-Lewin, certainly going back a couple of years, is somebody, you play that ball up to him, it sticks, you know, or he'll win the header, his leaps. Not seen that today. One good hold up play, and that contributed to the goal, credit to him.
Was that a foul though? with Romero?
Well, put it this way, if that was a foul on Van der Ven, you'd have to give that one as well.
Kudus trying to twist it away over on the far side, the right, having, I think, handled the ball initially. Stack in the end manages to push him to the ground. Across comes Romero, won by Okafor. Porro gets in there and wins it back for Tottenham. And Leeds give it away again. We've played now nearly 3.5 of the 4 added minutes at the end of the first half, and it's still 1-1. Odebear on towards the left, stopped by Boga before it can reach Xavi Simons. Goes out of play and away for a throw-in on this near side. It is a new frontier for Thomas Frank, juggling the twin aims of European football and Premier League football. Not something he's had to do very often. He did it when he was in Denmark very briefly, but not for very long. Here's Odebear down this left-hand side. He's having to do it for a lot longer here with Tottenham Hotspur. And it started off okay. Matisse Tel with the goal early on after a deflection off Pascal Strike. But Leeds United came back into the match. Okafor managing to come up with a finish after a poor carry out by Vicario from an effort from the edge of the penalty area from Brendan Aronson. And as a result of the break, we're all square. Tottenham struggles after European excursions, still continuing a little bit at Ellen Road, and unless they up it in the second half, there's every chance that Leeds' great home record, they're unbeaten in over a year, can carry on too. Half-time at Ellen Road, Leeds 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1.
Thank you, Sam. Yeah, a little bit of a scrappy sort of end to that first half, wasn't it? Both sides, of course, going for it, and it is currently 1-1 at the moment. Stuart Pearce, which manager do you think will be happier out of Daniel Farke or Thomas Frank?
I would say probably Thomas Frank, because they are the away team, and they got their nose in front to start with. I think both teams, for me, have offered a fragility in the game. I would like to see, if I was manager of either team, I would say there's a game here to be won, but you've got to be a little bit more physically and mentally dominant in regard to everything you do on a football pitch, if you know what I'm trying to say. Both teams look a little bit fragile defensively. Both teams, the game's meandered a little bit. It's been a reasonable game, but it's meandered along. And I think whichever team come out of this getting beaten will be really disappointed and think that they've let a game slip by.
When you talk about the fragility, what about the goalkeeper for Tottenham, Vicario? There are times when I look at him and I think, oh, God, really?
I think in his defence he's not been asked to come for too much. You almost know he's not going to come for anything, but Leeds have not put too much under the crossbar that's really tried to tempt him out, and it's a glaring mistake that he hasn't come for anything. But you do know that he does look a little bit nervous in and around coming between bodies.
What do you think is going to give in this second half? I mean, who would you put your money on if you had to right now?
Whichever one of the two teams come out with the more intent to go and win a game, like run harder, tackle harder.
I can see a fence that just keeps on growing.
Tottenham, I think Tottenham have probably got slightly more in regard to ability within the ranks, so you would always err on that potentially over 90 minutes.
Quick word on Matisse Tel. He got his first goal of the season just now. He could have flung one over the bar as well in the sort of the dying moments of that first half as well. In for Richarlison, who wasn't really fancied. Brennan Johnson's not really fancied in terms of getting the goals. What did you make of his performance?
I've been a little bit underwhelmed. I've got to say, he's got his goal. It took a little bit of a deflection, but he got his strike away and he got it on target, and good for him. I've been critical about some of the finishes in the first half that have got nowhere near the goal. So credit to him. The manager's made a change and put him in, and as a manager you walk in and say, I've got the call right, because he's got your team in front. But neither of the two centre forwards in either team have really caught my eye today, I've got to say, and probably more so Calvert-Lewin. I've been really disappointed in his performance today.
Yeah, he's got quite a lot to prove as well, hasn't he? That was the end of the first half between Tottenham and Leeds at Ellen Road. It's Leeds 1, Spurs 1, and the second half is coming up next.
Game day exclusive on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
And now, the weather. Outside, gloomy skies, a persistent drizzle, and a chilly wind blowing from the west, north, east, and south. But inside, temperatures of toasty warm with a high chance of comfy cushions, soft lighting, and a smattering of snuggly throws. Come home to cozy. Discover textiles and lighting at your local IKEA now. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
He's having a blinder. He's clipped the post. He's looking formidable. Then... substitution. His game might be over, but yours isn't. With Betfair's Safe Sub, your bet simply rolls onto the player coming on. Playing a different league with Betfair.
Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Applies to singles, multiples and bet builder bets on qualified player outcome selections. Does not apply to odds boost. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a tree, playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
The beautiful game doesn't stop at the final whistle, and neither does the sun.co.uk. So you can go beyond the last kick with expert insight into the big moments and in-depth analysis of tactics, plus the latest breaking news and exclusives. And you can get it whenever and wherever you want it. To keep up with every kick, just head to thesun.co.uk. It's unbeatable.
Incredible scenes here at the Village Hotel's Pub and Grill. Fans are taking their place in the fan zone with stadium-style seating, amazing views on huge screens, and we're underway. Lovely bit of dribbling there as she tackles the burger stack. Now they're getting down the wings. Sticky barbecue, unbelievable. Oh, and he's hit the bar. And it's there! His favourite ice-cold beer. What a result! Catch every game live in the Pub and Grill at Village. Get in! Find out more at villagehotels.com.
That's not level, mate. Oh, while you're here...
We know you have a lot to get through every day. Searching for low prices shouldn't be one of them. That's why Screwfix check prices daily on over 1,000 essentials and basics. Screwfix, low price, checked.
The Monopoly game at McDonald's is back. There's over £2 million worth of cash prizes to be won. And a chance to get your hands on some epic prizes. Go on, it's your go. 18+, UK, ends 21st of October. Selected menu items. App may be required. May depend on winning moment. See mcdrules.co.uk.
Game day exclusive on Talksport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games flexibly with Now. Like Chelsea versus Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports. 18+, stream via internet. Terms apply.
Award-winning live football commentary. Game day exclusive. Talksport.
You're listening to Game Day Exclusive live on Talksport. I'm Reshmin Chowdhury. I'm alongside Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce as we bring you our 12:30 Premier League kickoff live and exclusively on Talksport. It is Leeds against Tottenham Hotspur. Half-time in that one where it's currently Leeds 1, Spurs 1. Over on Talksport 2, if you're listening in the Championship, it's Sheffield Wednesday 0, Coventry City 3. What a roll Frank Lampard's side are on at the moment. Hull City 1, Sheffield United 0. And Blackburn against Stoke City, it is goalless between those two as well. Chris Wilder back in at Sheffield United, of course, trying to work some magic there. They've got the second half to do that. It's half-time in League One as well. Doncaster 1, Burton 0, Wickham 0, Barnsley 1. And in League Two, it's MK Dons 1, Gillingham 0, Newport County 0, Swindon Town 1. And they're into the second half in the WSL as well. A midday kickoff in Eastlands. And for Talksport is Natalie Pike. She's over there.
It's Manchester City 2, Arsenal 1, and the second goal for City coming in the 60th minute for Kirsten Kasperai. It came from a corner from Greenwood, and Shaw connected with the ball, heading it back across the box, and it was a really packed box. It was a scrappy goal, but it was bundled over the line by Kirsten Kasperai. It was a slow start to the second half from City, who looked a bit shell-shocked after that Caldante equaliser just 1 minute into the second half. We've got about 25 left here, and this really could be a crunch clash for Arsenal's title hopes. It's Manchester City 2, Arsenal 1.
Thanks very much, Nat. We're going to get the latest from Betfair now, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage.
Odds update on Talksport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sum from Betfair. 18+, gambleaware.org.
James Mackey from Betfair joins us once again. I'm going to go straight to Sam's charity bet because I know he's just dying to go on and on and on about it. Tell us, has he won it and how much?
Oh, well, Reshmin, I tell you, we talked about it, didn't we, as the João Palhinha charity bet just before the game kicked off. Well, if the fan club wasn't already there for Sam, it has to be now, because the bet has landed at just shy 11-2. João Palhinha, after 40 minutes, picked up his card, he had his shot, and then both teams to score landed as well. So that is £316.75 going to the Bobby Moore Fund. Absolutely brilliant stuff, Sam. Well done.
He is doing like the celebration jig. He's been rubbing his hands together. He's just going to be really, really annoying, actually, for the rest of the game.
You tell me I'm annoying whether I win a bet or not.
That's because I speak the truth, and you are. But no, well done, Sam, because that is, I mean, that's brilliant, and we love the money going to the Bobby Moore Fund, so that is absolutely fantastic. Well done, my dear friend Sam, on that, for getting that bet, the João Palhinha bet, absolutely right. What about the rest of the game then, James? Talk us through what the odds are looking like.
Yeah, it was a great first half of football, wasn't it, with both sides having chances. Leeds hit the bar before, obviously, Spurs got their first goal. But they do have their equaliser, and they're now 2-1 to go on and win the game in the second half. Leeds, very much like before kick-off, Reshmin, there is not much to split the two teams, with Spurs also 2-1 as well to win the game after taking that early lead, but now find themselves level. And I mentioned before kick-off that these two sides have been used to draws of late, and with Leeds looking to preserve that home record of being unbeaten in over a year, for that reason the draw price is 6-4. Just looking at the player markets in the second half, well, Matthias Tell got the opener for Spurs with a deflected shot. He's 4-1 to grab one in the second half. Hamid Kudus is another for Spurs who's been probing, and we're looking to add to his assist already in the game with a goal, and for him to add a goal in the second half, that's priced at 11-2. And for Leeds, Noah Okafor got his second of the season, become his Leeds top scorer so far during the season, and he's 9-2 to grab one in the second half.
Fantastic stuff. James Mackey, as always, thank you very much. That odds update is all thanks to Betfair. Returns accurate as of 10 minutes ago. For verification, you can see betfair.com. Over 18s only. Conditions apply. Go to gambleaware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sum from Betfair. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Now, of course, following us, Adrian Durham will be taking you around the grounds with all the goals as they go in the Premier League and the EFL. He's at the Emirates for Arsenal against West Ham United. I'm kind of quite intrigued by that one, actually, Adrian. First of all, how are you? And how's everything looking at the Emirates? Are you all wrapped up warm?
It's looking great. It's windy, but it's not particularly cold. And I will absolutely vouch for the fact Sam is incredibly annoying, and anything that makes him even more annoying is just a nightmare. But
is the smug face that makes him even more annoying?
What? This is workplace bullying.
This is workplace bullying.
You get yourself to HR then.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
We have a HR department, but it's great for the charity bit. So let's qualify that.
Absolutely.
Arsenal West Ham. Listen, it's the 300th game in charge for Mikel Arteta, and it's a good time to evaluate. There's been improvement, but this is the season when he's expected to deliver. And the Liverpool game aside, I think it's fair to say they are delivering. Champions League midweek, they were very, very comfortable. I've just spoken to an Arsenal fan who said actually it was a bit underwhelming, and I said, well, you got the job done. It was efficient and effective. If you're like that all season, you'll probably end up winning the title, maybe even the Champions League. So it will all depend what's happened come May, June time. So this should be a no-brainer, although West Ham do have a good record here.
Yeah, interesting with Nuno as well, to see how he does there. And you're right, they do have a good record there as well. Let's talk about the other 3 o'clock games. Manchester United against Sunderland. A lot of people wondering if it's curtains for Ruben Amorim if they lose. And, you know, you see these club hierarchies going in really strong on these managers, and then it kind of like looks like if they do get rid of them too soon, they'll have egg on their faces. I feel like it's the case for the Manchester United hierarchy, that if it doesn't work out with Ruben Amorim, that, you know, it's almost impossible to let him go. But you wonder, can they still carry on if Manchester United slip up against a Sunderland side who have their tails up?
Oh, Sunderland are going really well, 11 points. When you bear in mind, Southampton as a newly promoted side only got 12 points whole of last season. Sunderland got 11 from 6 games. It's seriously impressive, and they will absolutely be a problem for Man United. If you look at Erik ten Hag last season, he had 7 points from 6 games, exactly what Amorim has got. It looks a little bit more disarray under Amorim. And they sacked Erik ten Hag after 9 games. So maybe with the international break, if they lose today, this could be curtains for Amorim. I think it probably will be, depending on the manner of the defeat, if they do lose. So he said something really weird in the press conference. He said, yeah, but if we'd won those games, he talked about a couple of games, if we'd won those games, yeah, but you didn't win the games.
No.
What's the point of having this dream where you won the games?
Yeah.
Crazy stuff from Amorim.
It's very strange, isn't it? And you know, the pressure mounting on him, certainly, also on Ange Postecoglou, of course. And you know, looking at, and I mean, I was about to leave to travel up to Leeds, and there was a pop-up on my phone about some news, and it was something about Ange Postecoglou. I thought, oh God, don't tell me he's already been sacked. And it was actually the opposite. I literally thought, please, like, can't be that crazy. And it was something about how Nottingham Forest still have full faith in him, and that one's a very interesting one, because you feel that, you know, as Forest take on Newcastle tomorrow, that's going to be up in St James's Park, and I know Sam and the team will be across it on Game Day Live.
I'll be listening to Sam tomorrow, and no doubt he'll mention the charity bet as well.
I'm sure he will. Yeah. Smug Sam.
Love you.
But we love him really.
Smug Matterface.
Say that.
Sam Smuggerface.
Smuggerface.
You too.
Oh, I love this, Adrian. Adrian, we can continue this on and on and on. I'm so looking forward to it. Adrian, have a great one. I will speak to you soon. And meanwhile, it's about to kick off here in the second half. So over to Stu and Sam.
Well, yeah, because you two are being so nasty, you missed the kickoff, which is not very professional, is it? We're underway at the start of the second half. Anyway, and we've got live commentary here of Leeds against Tottenham. It's 1-1 at the start of the second half. Leeds United in white with blue trim, attacking the goal away to our left-hand side in the second half, the Don Revie stand. And the home team built momentum towards the end of that first 45. The away team all in black. Tottenham Hotspur attacking the goal away to our right in this second half. No changes at the break. Stuart Pearce is here, and there have been some classic encounters across the years between Leeds and Spurs. The 4-3 to Leeds here in April 2000 in the FA Cup upset of 2013. The last meeting was a belter. Tottenham at Hotspur Stadium. 12th of November 2022, Tottenham 4, Leeds 3, a 7-goal thriller. We'd like that in the second half, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, we certainly would, and I've got a feeling there will be goals in this second half. I can't see it ending as is at the moment. I think both teams have made enough mistakes to give the opportunity to the opposition.
Yeah, and the conditions that have met us in the second half have got even worse as Porro gets into the box, flashed across through the 6-yard area, pushed away by Darlow, collected by Brendan Aronson, turned over by Polinia, and then won back in the right fullback position by Longstaff, and then it's cleared out towards the far side. Polinia now feels as if he's been wronged by Brendan Aronson, but the first action of the second half was a Perrault cross into the centre, which Darlow had to parry away despite the attentions of Matisse Tell, and it's cleared upfield towards Ampadu, and then Strauch, and then all the way back to Darlow again. Here's Aronson just dropping into a more central position, coming in off that right side, tries to guide it back into Longstaff pass, but was brought to the floor by a doggy. 1-1 the score. We played 2 minutes of the second half. The two teams look like this. The Leeds United with Darlow in goal, Bogle, Rodon, Strauch and Gudmundsson the back four, Longstaff, Ampadu and Stack across midfield, Aronson, Calvert-Lewin and Okafor up top. And as far as Tottenham are concerned, Vicario in goal, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven and a doggy. Polinia booked, Bentancur alongside him, Kudus Xavi Simons, Audebert behind Tell. Here is Xavi Simons trying to escape upfield. He's got space over on the left-hand side, but Audebert tried to reverse the ball back to him and got his pass all wrong. Leeds cut it out, and now they break forward. Calvert-Lewin holding his run. Doesn't go on being between the centre halves. Instead, they play it left in towards Okafor, who jinks up to the edge of the area. Onto Calvert-Lewin, who turns and hits the goalkeeper, who manages to stab the ball away with his left foot as he twisted and shot the ball towards the bottom corner. Calvert-Lewin saw the big left foot come out of Vicario to prevent him from making it 2-1. Back through the 6-yard box it goes. Flashed through the middle of the penalty area. Calvert-Lewin can't reach. Stacks cross, and it goes behind eventually, and away for a throw-in down by the corner flag. Two good chances for Leeds.
Yeah, really good chances. Calvert-Lewin receiving in the box. Great turn, great effort away, but a left foot managed to keep it out with a slight deflection on that as well, which made it even more difficult. And as you say, the start of this half with the swirling conditions and the rain coming down has just added to the fact it is very difficult to call a victory in this game.
Yeah, the rain coming down intensely now, torrentially here at Ellen Road, and that's just going to add to the unpredictable nature of the game. 1-1 the score. It's 1-0 to Stoke away at Ewood Park. Million Manhoef has scored after 4 minutes of the second 45. They lead by a goal to nil. 1-1 here. Good save by Vicario. Difficult one for him. Barnsley 2-0 up away at Wickham now. Davis Keller done with a goal 5 minutes into the second half. Maybe Leeds United should have had a goal in the second half here. And it is a fixture that has produced memorable goals as well, isn't it? As Xavi Simons nicks the ball on halfway, looks to escape from Aronson. Ampadu tries to snaffle up the ball, commits a challenge which might have been a foul. Referee says play on, it's spilled out to a doggy. Goes back to Romero on the halfway line. He starts to motor forward. On the outside of him is Kudus. He's got Porro with him as well. Back infield it goes to Bentancur. Bentancur into Palhinha. Palhinha across and through the centre circle. Out towards the far side. He's overhit that. Goes out of play and away for a throw-in. Rod Wallace, 1994. Do you remember that? Going through from his own half to score the goal of the season in this fixture. David Ginola, a worldie in an FA Cup replay after drifting past 4 Leeds defenders. Cyril Knowles, 1975, a 22-yard free kick in what was at the time a bit of a relegation battle between these two teams. One of the great nights at White Hart Lane. 28th of April 1975. That free kick made Cyril famous,
and hence the song Nice One Cyril.
Yes. Here is Udogie bounding into the box, gets beyond the defender Aronson, puts it through the 6-yard box. There's no one there in black, and it goes out the other side, and it's cleared eventually by Gudmundsson and out for a throw. Talking of songs, by the way, April 1975. The biggest selling song of that year was #1 at the time. Any ideas? Scottish band, once crowned the biggest.
Bay City Rollers.
No, he's done it. He smashed it.
It's got to be the Rollers in '75. Scottish band, full of tartan.
Yeah. Do you know the song?
Hang on.
Here's the throw-in, which we are still waiting for.
Bye, baby.
Correct. Tossing the ball in towards the near post. Flicked on by Palhinha. Runs into the 18-yard box. Kudus back to the edge of the box. Pedro Porro's got hold of it now. He jinks forward, plays it left to the edge of the centre circle, and Tottenham regain possession. They look to motor forward here. 1-1 the score. Porro flashes the ball towards the edge of the area. It's kicked away, comes back out to the edge of the box. Bentancur knows that there was a foul there. The referee thinks that should be a yellow card. It's going to be a yellow card. Even Ampadu walking away, but the yellow card has come out, and the free kick is going to be given, and Pedro Porro feels that this is quite a nasty challenge.
Yeah, I think he's caught him on his foot by the looks of it. A rogue, the boots offer no protection this day and age. And he's rolling around a lot and stamping the ground and putting his arm up, and that is a great indicator that he's probably all right.
But the free kick is going to be quite a dangerous one for Spurs. The wind has picked up here as well.
It's really poor conditions, isn't it? And Tottenham have got the weather at their backs at the moment, you know, so...
Yeah, the wind sort of swirling towards that goal away to our right, and the rain lashing down now. And it's making, I suppose, it pretty uncomfortable to be in the Norman Hunter stand right now. Everyone's zipping their coats up, pulling their hoods up. They... under the threat of the conditions. A few people actually in the early rows of the stand opposite us, the main stand, have just started to just escape up into the concession areas in the emergency exits just to keep away from the rain, which has started to get a bit heavier than is comfortable. Pedro Porro had a challenge that was a little bit heavier than comfortable, and as a result he's still down getting treatment. You're listening to Leeds United 1, Tottenham 1 on Talksport with Sky Sports. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Chelsea versus Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports. It is 1-1. Matis Tel with an effort which was deflected by Strout beyond the goalkeeper Carl Darlow into the top left-hand corner as he looks at it right in the postage stamp. And the other goal scored by Noah Okafor, his second goal since moving for £18 million for AC Milan after Vicario had parried a shot from Aronson. Quick update from the WSL, Natalie Pike.
It's still Manchester City 2, Arsenal 1. The weather also awful here. The wind really taking it. Oh, and Arsenal have scored! It is an equaliser for Arsenal. It's come with less than 10 minutes left in the game. And I think that might be Chloe Kelly. I think that might be, it is indeed the substitute Chloe Kelly. She taps the Arsenal badge at the home fans and you can hear they boo her in return. It is Manchester City. Oh, she's putting a hand to her ear to the home fans now. Manchester City 2, Arsenal 2.
Oh, Chloe Kelly scored some important goals in her time. None more so in European Championship finals, however, scoring against her former club, tapping the badge and cupping her ear. And she scored for Arsenal today. And how Arsenal would love to get a victory in that game. Free kick to be taken here. We're still waiting for it. Pedro Porro has got off the pitch. He's been told to wait to come back on. There's a three-man wall for Leeds United and a draft excluder. Romero standing just left of the wall. Xavi Simon standing over the ball. So is Kudus, who strikes it straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. He got it in the gap, but it had very little power on it. Stuart Pearce, and was never troubling Carl Darlow. That was just catching practice.
Yeah, it was just basically a three-man wall and a two-man wall with a gap for Darlow to see the ball. That's where the ball went, and listen, picking cherries for Darlow, that one.
Porro still wants to come back on. We've played 10 minutes of the second half, although we haven't had much play because of the injury to Porro, who still hasn't been allowed to return. Okafor takes it on for Leeds United, attacking the goal to our left. His hair braided, plays it infield to Ampadu, wearing a long sleeve white shirt, out to Bogle, who similarly is, sends a cross deep into the penalty area, but it's very overhit and it goes beyond and away to our left hand side and out for a goal kick. And Tottenham have the ball again. Spurs will be hoping for a better second half than they had at the weekend, where they managed just one shot on target against Wolverhampton Wanderers. The second half something more akin to the late part of the game against Bodo Glimt, and Spurs have got late goals in the last two games. And this Leeds United team have conceded decisive goals in injury time of 2 of their last 3 matches. So keep listening right to the very end. Anything can happen. Bogle with a challenge over on the far side. The throw-in goes the way of Tottenham Hotspur. Leeds not happy about that. And here's Van de Ven, the heart of the defence, taking it forward into Romero. Romero starts to meander up the pitch. He gets to the right side of the box, plays it infield towards Bentancur. He turns and nudges it out towards this far side. Romero trying to encourage his team forward. He's got Palhinha in front of him. Porro takes over. Kudus goes on the hunt. Gudmundsson reads it, but then gives the ball away to Kudus rather clumsily. Kudus comes back in on his left foot, draws the ball down low to the left, and produces a brilliant finish past Carl Darlow and into the net. He goes over towards the far side to celebrate in front of the Leeds supporters. Mo Kudus with a goal. It's a terrific finish, his first for Tottenham. A brilliant moment for him. A big summer signing, delivering on the big stage just when they need him the most, cutting in on his left foot after taking advantage of a mishap by Gudmundsson, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, mentioned it in the first half. Goodmanson's not picked up runs and spins in behind him. He's not read the ball well enough or got his body angle correct. On that occasion, he got all over the shop, dropped for Kudos, and he's opened the goal up and then closed his foot and gone near post. And Darlow, with a slight deflection, has been wrong-footed. Tottenham in front.
Well, that's a really good goal from the Tottenham perspective, but a really scrappy goal as far as Leeds are concerned, because Strout will feel he should have closed it down, but before that Goodmanson made a mess of the ball down the right-hand side, and that's caused Leeds United grief. They've got to come from behind to try and get a point that looks as if they could manage when they got themselves back into the game. Might be a couple of changes in the offing here. There certainly will be a few changes from the midweek Champions League games today in some of the Premier League fixtures. Let's get our team news roundup started off with Ian Abrahams at the Emirates.
5 changes for Arsenal, including a 200th Premier League start for Bukayo Saka, Timber Calafiori, Rice and Eze, as well as Saka come in. White, Lewis Skelly, Zubamendi, Marino and Martinez drop out. 1 change for West Ham from the draw at Everton. Wan-Bissaka replaces Walker-Peters.
60 minutes on the clock coming up here, and it's 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. Over on the far side, they're on the attack with Udogie, the left back, getting towards the edge of the area. It bounces kindly for him after a poor clearance. Through the 6-yard box it goes, and it went through Goodmanson's legs, I think, and then beyond Kudus. I think there might have been an offside flag up anyway, so we'll go off to Old Trafford and get the team news from John Dunn.
Goalkeeper Senna Lomans makes his Manchester United debut, replacing Altay Bandia. It's one of 5 changes from defeats at Brentford last week, with Mount, Yoro, Ahmed and Casemiro coming in to replace Maguire, Ugarte, Dogo and Cunha. For Sunderland, 2 changes from the win at Nottingham Forest, with Traore and Adingra replacing Talby and Rigg. At Old Trafford, Manchester United and Sunderland.
Goal in the WSL, Natalie Pike.
Manchester City 3, Arsenal 2, another thriller on our hands here. There is less than 5 minutes to go, and the substitute Iman Benet has scored for City. All the credit's got to go to Bunny Shaw. Lovely work by her to lay the ball off to Benet in the middle of the box to fire home. We are in the 89th minute here. Manchester City 3, Arsenal 2.
Okafor down the left-hand side produces a cross into the box here, and it doesn't get anywhere near Calvert-Lewin. It goes through the 18-yard box, and Tottenham are able to clear. 2-1 to Tottenham live on Talksport this lunchtime. A thriller in the WSL. Lots of games to come at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Arsenal West Ham at the Emirates and Manchester United against Sunderland. And it'll be Adrian Durham taking you around the grounds from 2:30 from the Emirates Stadium. We've also got commentary on Talksport 2 of Derby against Southampton. We'll get team news from Pride Park now. Here's Ian Danter.
3 changes for Derby, still waiting to win at home this season as they take on the Saints. Forsyth, Ozo and Vyman in, Brereton, Diaz, Adamson, Elder out. And for Southampton, who won at Sheffield United in the week for their 2nd win of the season, Fraser and Cienza in for Fellows and Azaz. Live on Talksport 2 at 3, it's Derby County against Southampton.
Free kick over on the far touchline, which will be given in favour of Leeds United, who trail here by 2-1. Mo Kudus getting his first goal in Tottenham colours. Big moment for him, and a big moment in a sense for Leeds now in the final half an hour of the game. They need the crowd to get behind them, and certainly that's what they are attempting to do. Free kick then taken by Longstaff, about 10 yards in from the right touchline, midway inside opposition territory. It's a deep ball towards Rodon again at the back post, who I think maybe sort of headed it against the back of the head of Strauch, and it went looping into the air and over the top of the crossbar. Here's Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, good first contact there by Rodon at the far post, but just couldn't guide it back to his teammates in the centre of the goal. Once again, Tottenham don't look as though they've got the appetite to sort of be dominant in their own back line. But it's Spurs at the moment with their nose in front, and to be honest with you, I think they look quite comfortable in what they're doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, gone are the days of Spurs getting 2-1 up in a game, chasing a third with a sort of high-tempo, possession-based attacking game built on loads of different sort of overloads and tactical tweaks. Now when they get into this sort of position, they're a little bit more robust, a little bit more pragmatic, you would say. They don't go chasing a third goal. If the opportunity presents itself, they'll be after it. But Thomas Frank has sort of instilled a little bit more of a resilience about them, and hence why we've seen them come back recently and snatch points.
Yeah, they certainly have. They got a bit of a cutting edge as well, like Kudos could go past people and that type of thing. They got some cutting edge in their team. I still don't think they're the finished article to finish in the top 4, though, I've got to say.
No, I think you might be right. Transitional season, I think, in the offing. Well, we're involved in ever-changing weather, and the rain, if it could get any more intense, has certainly got much heavier in the last few minutes. Torrential downpour now here at Ellen Road. Here's Stack, bit of space for Longstaff, back to the edge of the area, and instead of giving it to Stack, it went towards Okafor, and then Pedro Porro was caught by Okafor as he tried to win it back. The referee gave the free kick. Tom Bramall, there's a bit of pushing and shoving between Romero and Okafor, bit of squaring up from the Argentine, and Noah Okafor has a little bit of a word with his the opposite captain of Tottenham Hotspur.
Once again, I'm not sure how much was in that challenge. A player goes to ground and a decision straight away comes, it seems.
Well, it's a yellow card for Noah Okafor. Like you, I was a little bit unmoved by the contact, mainly because Pedro Porro was so dramatic in the way that he threw himself to the ground. 2 changes incoming. Looks as if Jack Harrison and Ayo Tanaka are about to come on for Daniel Farke and Leeds United. Thomas Frank has got Bergvall warming up on this near touch line, and Charlison's there as well, as is Pap Sarr. They do have quite a deep squad now, don't they? And bearing in mind the injuries that they've got, Madison and Kulusevski out long term. Solanke's just had a procedure. Kolo Muani trained this week but not ready for the squad. There's a real depth about Tottenham Hotspur going forward. Here is Vicario. Oh, not a great ball into Mickey van der Ven, and then he has to try and kick it upfield. He does well to make the most of it and find Audebert, and then he sends it round the corner, and Simons is chasing towards the edge of the box, brings Kudus into play. Now inside the area, back to Simons, right by the D, gives it over the top to Pedro Porro, who's right-footed. Ball in towards the near post is sort of shifted into the ground and shanked behind, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. You are listening to Talksport. And for the latest odds, you can head to Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Leeds 12-1 to come back and win the game. Spurs are 3-1 on to win the match, and the draw is 3-1. That's all thanks to Betfair, playing a different league this season with safe sub from Betfair. 18+, begambleaware.org. Ball cleared upfield by Darlow. Comes back via Romero right down the middle of the pitch. Those 2 changes I mentioned, Tanaka and Harrison, about to take place now. They're both getting ready down in front of us as Darlow kicks the ball long up towards Calvert-Lewin. He takes it out of the sky unchallenged, plays it towards the left. Okafor now. Gudmundsson going on the outside of him. Okafor comes infield, is engaged by Romero. Good defending. And he plays the ball to Palinha, who strides forward over halfway. Longstaff brings him down. Free kick just short of the halfway line, and we'll have those changes now.
Yeah, I think Leeds need something to just try and give them some initiative within this game.
Well, with all the new signings that have been picked up, Brendan Aronson continues to work incredibly hard to rebuild his reputation here, and he's done a very good job of doing so. Jack Harrison needs to do that as well. He comes on to replace him. Tanaka also comes on for Anton Stack, and Leeds United with a little bit of a change in their midfield. Just wonder how that will affect them going forward. Harrison's gone out towards the right-hand side, as you would expect, to replace Aronson like for like. There's no Willie Gnonto. He's got a little bit of an issue with an injury which has flared up at the moment, which is a problem, and Daniel James is going to be out for 6 to 7 weeks with an injury too. Here is Rodon into Harrison. Harrison gives it away to Palinha. I mean, he, having gone away for 2 years after they got relegated, didn't go down particularly well. He did his best to try and repair the damage by putting a couple of grand behind the bar of a local Leeds pub on match day on the opening night. Still didn't work particularly well. But they had the free drinks. Gudmundsson going into the left full-back position, gets crunched by Kudus. Free kick is given.
This is where our game's got to be improved. You know, Gudmundsson's gone into the box, Kudus is running behind him and he's just fell on the ball, and the referee thinks, well, he's fell over, it's got to be a free kick. And I think we see too much of that now. If we want to see a better product, we've got to get cuter at what is and what isn't a free kick. Someone falling over does not mean there's been a free kick committed.
Here's a contact sport, or it was. Here is Kudus chesting the ball down under pressure from Gudmundsson. Tries to skip infield past the defender. Loses the ball, and now Okafor has got it back again. Looking to take on Porro. Porro, he just held his ground there, and Okafor almost bamboozled himself trying to run with the ball and try too many tricks. Needed to release it maybe a little bit earlier. Goes back to halfway, picked up by Joe Rodon, out towards the right-hand side. Now it's on to Bogle. Bogle clips the ball into midfield. Udogie manages to chest it down and nudge it forward into Simons. Won well by Bogle from the wrong side. And now Harrison picks it up and drives forward at the heart of the Tottenham defence. Sends it wide towards Bogle again. Bogle approaches the penalty area. Gets a little pull on his shirt as he centres the cross. The ball then comes out, hits the referee. And Tottenham say, well, we had the ball, so we should get it back. The referee is saying that, well, he's getting told by the Leeds supporters that actually it should be a Leeds ball over on the far side because there was a free kick. The referee's going over to speak to his assistant over on the far touchline. I think he's going to give Tottenham back the ball deep inside their own half, and that means that the Leeds attack, which they felt that they had a bit of momentum in, is going to come to an end. Full time at the WSL. Natalie Pike.
It's finished. Manchester City 3, Arsenal 2, and again this fixture delivers an absolute thriller. City opened the scoring in the first half, but Arsenal level straight after the restart. City took the lead again on the hour with Kirsten Kasperai, but then Arsenal hit back with less than 10 minutes to go as substitute Chloe Kelly curled a stunning strike, celebrated by tapping her badge. The final word though belonged to City. Iman Benet scoring with only a few minutes left. City now up into second, just a point behind Chelsea. Arsenal sitting in fifth, 5 points off the top. An epic game at the Joy Stadium. Manchester City 3, Arsenal 2.
Thank you, Natalie. Back here, it is 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur live on Talksport. And it's a big victory that for Manchester City in the WSL. I'll update you on the table in just a second, but here comes Tanaka moving towards the edge of the area, gives it to Longstaff, who turns and shoots. He's not far away. It whistles past the post, right from the edge of the D. He got hold of the ball, turned and slapped it towards goal. Vicario was interested. He was very interested.
Well, I've got to say, Tanaka, well played there. He gave the ball out wide, went and supported it, got it back, drove inside, and he was the one who pushed the ball into Longstaff. He got it out of his feet. Great power on it, good control on it, but the accuracy just slightly not there.
Manchester City going up into second in the WSL, a point behind Chelsea, who dropped points last night. Manchester City with a victory today against Arsenal, dropped to fifth as a result of that. Spurs above them now in the WSL table. Paps are about to come on for Tottenham Hotspur, where the away side lead by 2-1. Their away form has been pretty good actually this season, the best in the league. Lucas Bargval, one of those who might come on. Maybe it will be Richarlison and Sarr who end up entering the fray first though. Ball back with Mickey van der Ven. He takes it down the left-hand side, gets up towards the halfway line, and then before it reaches Odebear, it goes out of play, and it's a throw-in to Leeds United.
Yeah, a couple of changes in the offing, as you say. About to come on, Thomas.
Burton Albion 1, Doncaster 1. MK Dons 3-0 up against Gillingham now in League 2. In the Championship, Ellis Sims has scored for Coventry. 4-0 they lead now. They're going goal crazy. Coventry City again. How good have they been? Here is Gudmundsson into Okafor. Okafor back to the left-hand side as Leeds come on the attack. Gudmundsson, was he offside? He was.
Yeah, just straight offside there.
Well, Tell's then gone down. He's going to be taken off now anyway for Pap Sarr. so that won't matter too much. Just a little bit of a delay in proceedings. And Richarlison coming on as well. So Sarr Patel is the first change for Tottenham. And Richarlison is on for Xavi Simons. So 2 changes for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, just freshen it up a little bit there. They're looking a fair bit of control, I would say, at the moment. Leeds certainly not cutting them open, and I don't see anyone in the Leeds front line that can really drive at somebody and go past them. Odebert gets the ball, runs up to you, does a few shimmies, and then, well, runs out of ideas, really.
Well, with Leeds United in scoring goals, it's an issue because they're in a situation where they have scored 7 goals this season, 8 goals now, and they're all coming from different sources. I mean, Okafor's got 2, but apart from that, every other one has been scored by a different player. Foul by Tanaka on Bentancur. The referee's given another foul. He's been a bit whistle-happy in this second half. And that Tottenham defence has been pretty rigid, hasn't it? I mean, we're talking about the lack of penetration from Leeds United, but the Tottenham defence has only conceded 5 goals in the Premier League this season, which is pretty good. And they've been a little bit fortunate not to concede more. As Calvert-Lewin actually engaged with Bentancur, and he was fouled as a result. Bentancur, referee says free kick. Not that the Leeds fans are too convinced by his competency.
No, I think he got that right, to be fair. Calvert-Lewin just slightly late.
Bentancur plays it short to Palhinha. Back on the halfway line, goes back to Pedro Porro. Strout gets there before Richarlison can spin in behind. And now it's collected by Gudmundsson, who tries to turn the ball forward and up to Okafor, who held on to it momentarily, then felt he was knocked off the ball. No foul given by Tom Bramall. And Daniel Farke's getting increasingly irate about the number of decisions that are going against his team in the match as Tottenham progress down the left touchline now. We've played nearly 75 minutes. You're listening to Talksport live on this Saturday afternoon with Adrian Durham to bring you all the goals as they go in between 2:30 and the conclusion of play. We'll have a full classified check as well, the only place on national radio for that. Porro dispossessed by Gudmundsson as he tries to get to the byline. It's given to Okafor in a dangerous zone. Gudmundsson then tries to play it forward, plays it against the defender and almost gives it back to Richarlison. A little bit clumsy from Gudmundsson, who then wins a free kick. It just looks a little bit like a fish out of water today, does Gabriel Gudmundsson. Did score an own goal the other week, which I think sort of put him off his stride a little.
I think he's done some good work in the opposition's final third. He's got forward and put some crosses in. That's his better work, but certainly defensively I've not been convinced by him. People are spun in behind him. His body shape's not been right on occasion. He's not track runs.
Here is Tanaka. Tanaka playing it back to Rodon. Rodon to Ampadu. Strout.
A couple of Leicester fans just leaving Leeds fans leaving the stadium now.
Bogle, 2 yards in from the right touchline. Tries to take the ball into an advanced position. Harrison onto Tanaka. Tanaka lifts it over the top of Papsar, who tried to engage him. It's nodded down by Longstaff and then picked up by Calvert-Lewin, who tries to play it down the right channel, but again it's just a little bit heavy, not delicate enough, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick to Tottenham Hotspur. 5-0 to Coventry now over on Talksport 2. If you want to download our app, you can flip between the two stations. Joel Peru and Lucas Metcher coming on for Leeds United here at Ellen Road. Tottenham taking their time after restarting the game, just making sure that they eke out every second. The rain has just started to slow a little bit. Remember, we've got the game day phone in tonight, 5:30 till 7:30, and Jamie O'Hara joined by Jermaine Pennant today. Could be interesting after that Arsenal game. Tomorrow morning, Shaban and Tony Cascarino will wake you up at 6 o'clock. Faye Carruthers is with Henry Winter for the Sunday edition tomorrow at 9, and we take you round the grounds at 1:30. 4 big Premier League games at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Crookie and I will be joined by Charlie Adam and Perry Groves tomorrow, game day live from 1:30. Here is Okafor. just touching the left touchline with the chalk on his boots, gives it to Strauch, and then infield to Ampadu. Ampadu tried to nudge it forward, gave it to Rodon instead, and now Tanaka. Tanaka trying to turn, played it out to the far side, the right. Harrison looks to try and nudge the ball infield, and then it's collected by Tanaka, and then he gives the ball away. Tottenham win it and turn it over, try to get it forward, can't do so, and then they win it back, Leeds, and it's Bogle who for some reason I think decided to try and shoot. At the moment he got cramp and he ended up shanking the ball into the Dom Revie stand and then having to bend over to try and stretch himself out.
Yeah, and he's bent over now. Leeds just making a couple of changes, Sam.
2 changes, Metcha on, Pirro on, off comes Gudmundsson, and off comes Okafor. So 2 changes, 2 offensive changes. Be interesting to see who goes to left back. Ampadu may be going into a back 3, is he? With Longstaff dropping into midfield, Bogle going out to right wing back, and left wing back probably Harrison. Let's see how that plays out as Longstaff gives the ball away in midfield to Richarlison, who plays it out towards the far side. Udogie joining the attack now, plays it on towards Odobert. Odobert trying to twist his way to the edge of the box, and then it goes back into Palhinha. Palhinha, who gets tracked, taken on by Odobert again. Doesn't see much of the ball in the second half, actually, Wilson Odobert over on that far side. And Tottenham are coming forward, though. He's got hold of it now, trying to twist and turn his way to the edge of the box, engaged by Bogle, but he keeps getting knocked down and getting back up again, Odobert. Eventually it goes to the halfway line, and Tottenham in possession. Just keep hold of the ball with 10 minutes to go. And their failure to beat Wolves at the weekend and the lacklustre game in midweek, I think, highlighting a few teething problems that they have had under Thomas Frank. But one of the things they don't do is they don't lose very often. They've only lost 1 game in normal time. They did lose to PSG in a penalty shootout in the Super Cup, but apart from that they've been pretty reliable. The only game that they've lost in 90 minutes was the match against Bournemouth, and they weren't good that day. But even when they haven't been at their very best, they've been eking out results, Tottenham. And they lead here by 2 goals to 1. They haven't been dazzling, they haven't been magical, they haven't set the world alight, but they look like they'll get the job done. Here's Kudus. His first goal for Tottenham separates these 2 here. Up to Odobert. Odobert under pressure from Bogle. Bogle gets a little nick on the ball, goes back to halfway. Goes all the way back to the defence, and this is something that Tottenham wouldn't have done, Stuart, when they're in this situation with 10 minutes to go, the end of last season. They would try and go for an extra goal or go hunting up the pitch and give the ball away. They have given the ball away here, but because they're in good shape and under protection, when it does break down, they can withstand anything that comes their way.
Yeah, and Leeds have found it difficult to break them down when they have been dropped back in slot as such.
Look more compact and resolute under Thomas Frank as the ball goes forward. Leeds looking to try and attack it down the left-hand side with Harrison, who slides off the playing surface and into the camera dugout away to our left-hand side. You're listening to Leeds United 1, Tottenham 2 on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it, book now, enterprise.co.uk. Archie Gray sitting on the bench today for Tottenham Hotspur. Harry Gray in the stands with a little hip flexor injury for Leeds United up in the stands, and Eddie Gray, granddad, is in the stands as well. Ball down the left-hand side. Uncle, isn't it? Actually, not granddad. Andy Gray, who did play here. It was granddad, I was right first time here. Andy Gray, who was playing here, Archie and Harry's dad, is somewhere inside the ground apparently, but we haven't seen him. You bumped into him. That was the granddad. Here is the cross from the left-hand side. They've been searching for him, the camera, all day, by the way. I heard them at half-time trying to find desperately where Andy Gray was sitting. He was the one they couldn't allocate. They've got him now. Here is Carl Darlow away to our right-hand side. Played forward into midfield, and it's collected by Piroux. Piroux sends it back towards the edge of the area, finds the chest of Rodon, who deals with it quite well. Gives it back to Darlow. Darlow back out to the right. Looks like Kevin Danso is about to come on for Tottenham Hotspur, just to stiffen their defence going into the last 8 minutes of the game.
Leeds are doing Tottenham's work for them at the moment, passing the ball backwards and sideways and running the clock down.
Blackburn 1, Stoke City 1 with 8 minutes to go in the Championship. Back to Tanaka. Just need to up the pace a little bit here, as Stuart says. Leeds United just wandering forward slowly, not really causing Tottenham enough grief, not putting them under enough pressure here as we reach the final exchanges of this match. 7 minutes to go. Out to Bogle, far side. He comes in from the right touchline, guides it back to Ampadu. Infield to Rodon. And now Harrison. Harrison chomps in past Kudus. And then Kudus does well to hold him up. Gives away a free kick, actually, in doing so. And it's going to be a free kick that they want to take quickly, because they don't want the substitution to take place. Because guess what? They don't want them to pack the midfield, the defence out here. They're taking off Audebert, bringing on Kevin Danso. So that sort of gives you an indication of what Tottenham are doing here, taking off a winger and putting on a centre-half. And I think probably Leeds United let them off the hook a little bit there by not putting them under more pressure. They just started to rest with the ball almost, Leeds.
Well, they probably had their longest string of possession, Leeds, there, and didn't actually get anywhere further up than 40 yards from the Tottenham goal in all that time.
Which is a bit of a waste, really. And Tottenham after this have Aston Villa at home, Monaco away in the Champions League, Everton away, all this coming after the international break, Newcastle away in the Carabao Cup, actually, Chelsea at home and Copenhagen at home. Leeds about to enter a crucial period. They play Burnley and West Ham after the international break, which could be crucial. Here on the right hand side, Bogle has it. Can they get anything from this game? Not as it stands. Remember, they haven't lost here since Burnley beat them 1 year and 20 days ago. It's picked up by a doggy who's dragging them up the pitch, Tottenham. And then one by Ampadu, and he then gives it back. And Tottenham have it back. Richarlison trying to come forward. One by Leeds. Again, messing around with it deep inside their own half. Tanaka, I think, having come onto the pitch, Stuart, has almost sort of slowed the game down a little bit.
Yes, yeah. He's a technical player, but he wants to play little, I'll give it to you, then I'll come over to you and get it back again. And you're right, he slowed the game right down. It's not what they need at the moment.
Harrison trying to bend the ball into the penalty area, looking for the run of Mecha, but the ball wasn't precise enough, and it goes into the arms of the goalkeeper, Vicario, and it's bowled out towards this near side. 5 minutes to go. We'll have interviews with Daniel Farke and with the Tottenham manager Thomas Frank on Game Day Live straight after the match here. Bentancur fired into a tackle, picked up now by Ampadu. He runs forward through the centre circle, plays it out towards the right-hand side, and then Calvert-Lewin keeps it alive. Piroux gets hold of it inside the penalty area. Played back to the right edge of the area. Bogle with a cross into the box, and it's too big for Harrison again from Bogle. And that's a couple of times now he's gone into crucial crossing positions, and he's overhit the ball.
Yeah, he got that horribly wrong. And normally at a stage like this, you're one goal deficit down, the crowd are urging you on to get it forward, and there seems to be no urgency or cutting edge to Leeds to want to do that. They're better off getting it wide, getting it out their feet, putting it in the box, get numbers in and around the drop zone at this stage.
Leeds 1, Tottenham 2, going into the final few minutes of the game. 36,703 here at Ellen Road, which has been raucous at times, but now they're suffering as Richarlison runs through towards the right edge of the area. His shot takes a little deflection, it goes wide of the goal and out for a corner over on the far side. And there's just a little instruction for Destiny Udogie to stay back here and protect the goal. There's no need for Tottenham to flood the box here. They're going to put people up on the edge of the penalty area. Danso getting instruction from Andreas Georgsson. Thomas Frank having a few words as well. And Tottenham making sure they can't be broken upon. Why aren't Leeds putting an extra player up on the halfway line just in case it breaks down?
Well, there's a couple of things here. Leeds have got everybody from penalty spot towards their own goal, so they've got no counter-attack threat whatsoever. Tottenham are looking over at the bench and players are saying, shall I go in the box or not? You should know that as a player. The clock's just ticking on to 88 minutes very, very shortly. If you don't know whether to go up for a corner or not, well...
And Pedro Porro has just had something thrown at him by the corner flag, and he's just tossed it away. He's got a smile on his face as he prepares to take this corner kick over on the far side. And he puts his left arm in the air. The Tottenham players run to the near post. It goes to the back post. In fact, it doesn't just go to the back post, it almost goes to the corner flag. I mean, talking about overhit, I don't know if the wind got a bit of that. Maybe I'm being kind, but it was poor.
Well, there was a catalogue of ridiculousness there, you know what I mean? it really was incredible. Sometimes I can't get my breath with the standard of IQ on a football pitch, you know. Do I go up or do I not? You don't have to look at the technical area to get guidance there.
Why do you think that is? Do you think that's because players have been coached so much now that they've sort of,
probably
that they almost have to sort of look over or get their instructions and stop from thinking for themselves in a sense?
Well, I think there is some of that, Sam, I must say.
Danso into Porro, right full-back position, clipped forward looking for Richarlison, headed away by Rodon. Tanaka pokes it forward, Pirro sends it back again. Ampadu now from deep tries to build the play for Leeds United. He goes over halfway, white shirts flooding forward now, up towards Calvert-Lewin, a little touch back into the path of Strauch. Harrison, Strauch joins the attack as Leeds go in search of an equaliser. Back out towards the right-hand side. It's a deep ball into the box, looking for Calvert-Lewin, who wins a header. Out comes the goalkeeper Vicario. He goes down after punching the ball, and then he gets fouled according to the referee. Strauch was underneath him. I mean, Vicario came out. He managed to get hold of the ball. Calvert-Lewin sent a loop into the air. I mean, that's just two players coming together, and Vicario's run into him, not the other way around, surely. Is that a foul?
Well, not for me, but it's within keeping in the game with every time someone hits the ground, and Vicario certainly played for it, flapping around there.
Johnson on, Kudus off. 6 minutes of added time at the end of the 90. So we could have a dramatic finish, and dramatic finishes have been in these two teams' lockers over the course of the season, conceding goals from Leeds United's perspective and Tottenham getting on the score sheet. But maybe the tables will turn here, because Mecha is breaking away down the right-hand side. Van der Ven sticking with him in the left full-back position, touches it out for a throw-in. And I just wonder whether or not Ampadu will come across here and try and launch a long throw-in into the box and try and cause chaos with the conditions.
Well, I'll tell you what, with all this water on the ball, I don't think he'll get a lot of distance, and I'll maybe prove wrong there if they can dry the ball out a touch.
Well, Justin went across actually and tried to dry the ball out. It's thrown in towards the near post, flicked on by Justin into the area, back in by Rodon, headed away by Papsar, comes to Longstaff on the volley, and he didn't catch it at all well, and it went straight behind and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. And it remains Leeds United 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2 in the first minute of 6 added at the end of the 90. A few nervous looks on the faces of the Leeds United team. They know here that it's been a long time since they witnessed a league defeat at Ellen Road. In fact, Thomas Frank usually struggles when he takes on Daniel Farke in their 5 meetings. Thomas Frank hasn't won one yet, but he might finally get one over the German here. A man he called his friend before the game. Ball clipped forward by Justin, up towards Harrison, away by Pedro Porro, left edge of the area as Leeds come on the attack. They're about 15 yards back from that now. Harrison has won it back, sent it down the left side, but his ball is imprecise. Johnson stands in his way and heads it clear. Harrison's got it back again, switches it back into midfield, and it's collected by Ampadu. Needs a long ball over the top, he delivers that towards Strauch. Strauch gets his head on the ball. I just wonder whether or not that took a deflection off of Danso and goes behind for a corner. No, the referee's given a goal kick.
Yeah, I thought Strike got the last touch on this. That's how I saw that, but he's claiming, I think, that Danso got a touch as it skimmed behind But it's fair to say probably Leeds' best moments have come just from getting it wide and putting it in the box, and they've declined to do that up until now.
Well, back post crosses were so profitable for them last season, Leeds United. That was an area in which was real fertile ground for Daniel Farke. I don't think we've seen enough of that in the game today, but when they have got the ball into the box, they've caused chaos. That's poor from Justin. He's given the ball away straight to Destiny Udogie. Udogie's come forward. Polinia now up towards the midpoint of the Leeds half. Did Papsar take that out over on the far side?
Well, the linesman's got a great view, unopposed, unhindered, so if he suggests no, either way, it's back in Leeds' possession now.
Deep inside their own half, and Carl Darlow, the goalkeeper, comes out and goes all the way up to the halfway line almost, with the ball at his feet, then clips it into the air, hangs it up on the edge of the penalty area, headed down by Calvert-Lewin, comes to Pirro, great save by Vicario, down to his left, a big left hand came out there, and then Udogie nudged it behind and out for a corner. That was a key moment, and Vicario was there to save Spurs.
Well, Sam, that come as a real surprise, didn't it? Leeds getting the ball out their feet, tossing it up to the centre forward, and then getting the bits. Who knew that might cause Tottenham a problem?
There's a sentiment laced with sarcasm from Stuart Pearce there, I think. Corner kick over on the far side. Longstaff to take it. Remember, Leeds don't ever get beat at home in the league. It hasn't happened since last year. Can they come up with an equaliser as we approach the full-time whistle here at Ellen Road? Corner kick far side in front of the Don Revie stand. Strauch up from the back. Aimed in towards Strauch, who gets a header in over the top of the crossbar. And did it take a flick on the way through? The referee said it did. It's a corner.
I think the referee's guessed there. All the Tottenham players are up in arms, but once again they got a semi-clear header, to be quite honest with you. No way that's hit anybody.
Well, Destiny Udogie felt as if he'd done enough to put Strauch off, and the referee said corner kick. Not sure how, but if this generates a Tottenham a conceded goal by Tottenham, I'm sure that Thomas Frank will have something to say about it. Right-footed into the Wolves penalty at the back post, looking for Rodon, headed away by Mickey van der Ven, back in by Perot. Did it hit a hand? Referee says too close. Back in by Harrison towards the far post. There was a challenge inside the area. Pascal Strauch went down, said he was nudged to the floor and wants a penalty. The ball is cleared out towards the halfway line, and all of the bench on this near side that represent Leeds United have got out and charged towards the assistant on this near touchline. As the ball goes back to the edge of the box, Vicario comes out, meets Van der Ven, gobbles it up. Those two collide, and again, well, Polinia, I think it was, actually went down, and they're wasting a little bit of time here. There's no doubt about it. Even you could see that on the face of Polinia, who just looked up to see to make sure that the whistle had gone. Just wonder whether or not there was any suggestion of a foul on Pascal Strauch just before that, as the ball came in from Longstaff.
No, his foot's give away underneath him. Not for me.
Well, did Richarlison step on his foot?
Yeah, you could be right there, but I don't think that's a penalty.
Well, if Richarlison stepped on his foot and that caused him to slip, surely it should be at least looked at by the VAR, no?
Well, I'm sure they have, but I just think the whole day's been littered with players going down too cheaply, Sam. I really do.
Well, the referee says no. We didn't get a particularly good angle of it. The VAR has not sent him to the monitor, so we play on, and we're into the 6 of 6 added minutes. But we will have a couple more moments, I think. The ball sent long up towards Mecha, away by Romero. Further clear. Are Tottenham going to get over the line here? Ball forward towards the left, Pirou chasing. Porro goes across, he sees it out of play brilliantly. And they've managed to win a throw-in deep in the right corner of the field, and they know now that probably they've ticked over enough minutes to get over the line here, and Leeds are about to be condemned to defeat. He's drying the ball now, Kevin Danso, as all the tactics are coming out here. Tom Bramall looks over. Thrown forward by Danso, reaches the halfway line, back by Ampadu into the Tottenham half. Johnson will kick it anywhere. Darlow wants to get hold of this and stop it from going out. He can't do so. It's going to be a goal kick. He needs to get it forward and get it forward quickly. He wants the ball to stop rolling. He's then thrown it out again, and now he kicks it right-footed down the middle of the pitch, and the full-time whistle goes, and Tottenham Hotspur become the first team to beat Leeds United in a league game at Elland Road in over a year. Thomas Frank's team have scored late goals in the last few weeks, and they need a second-half one here, but they didn't need a late rescue act. The referee's not the most popular man at Elland Road, and nor is Mo Kudus, whose goal actually settled the encounter. As a result, Spurs go up to second in the Premier League for now. Leeds' first league loss here in 1 year and 20 days. Cuts deep with the supporters who felt that they were hard done by the referee over the course of the 90 minutes. But in truth, it was Tottenham Hotspur putting away their chances which did the trick. Full time at Elland Road. Leeds 1, Tottenham 2.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Stu. You can see Daniel Farker out on the centre circle talking to his players. There's hugs and taking it like a man, isn't he, really? He knows he'll be really, really disappointed, especially with that record that Leeds have now lost. It was impeccable, wasn't it? 23 games unbeaten at home in the league. It wasn't meant to last. These records never last, but they lost it today to Thomas Frank, who's also out on the pitch right now. It's so wet and horrible out there, but he's hugging his players. He knows that this is a huge victory. Everyone actually still out on the pitch despite this rain that just keeps lashing down. And I think the Spurs team are about to head over to the away fans, I think, but Leeds haven't gone anywhere either. They're sort of there thanking their fans for their support as well. I don't know why they don't want to come off the pitch, but I'm sure they will eventually. Boos ringing around Elland Road here as well, I think directed towards the referee. They are not happy with some of the decisions that have taken place here. But it is Tottenham Hotspur, the away side, who leave with the victory. And as we can see, as the Leeds players do a little lap of the pitch, starting in the far right corner from where we are, the Don Revie stand, there are cheers and applause from their supporters here, because they do love this team and they have given them a lot of entertaining times, but maybe not today. And as I can say, the Spurs fans are applauding their team as well. They're the loudest in here. This is huge for Tottenham, actually. First of all, it's breaking that curse, isn't it? The one before the international break. They'd lost 7 games before an international break. They've finally broken that one. They drew 3 of their last games, a couple of them snatching a point in the dying moments against Wolves in the league and then against Bodo Glimt in the Champions League. But today feels like a really important win, a big bit of a statement actually from this Tottenham side, who now go second in the table. And Thomas Frank will be absolutely delighted, because as Sam rightly said in commentary, Thomas Frank, in their 5 encounters against Daniel Farker, he'd never beaten him before. So it's a good day. It might have been scrappy at times, but the result is what counts, and a few hoodoos gone as well today, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, I mean, Spurs would be absolutely delighted with the start they've had before this international break, up to second in the league. I think the big thing for me to come out of the game, I'm sat here thinking to myself, who's the man of the match? And I can't think of anyone. It's a difficult one.
It was going to come. I was going to ask you at some point.
That tells you probably the mark of the game. Leeds didn't do enough, certainly in the second half, to go and really put Spurs on the back foot. Tottenham probably had a little bit more talent in the ranks that got them over the line, but in the end of the day, it was a game that the loser's going to rue, I think.
But this is Tottenham. This is Tottenham in the Thomas Frank era. No longer necessarily as dazzling or as entertaining, but I think I mentioned this to you in midweek when we were in the Arctic Circle. You know, the fact is that you don't get those wild swings of emotion, those huge highs and then those massive lows from week to week. It's just a little bit more stable. There's less chaos about them now, and that gives them greater control in matches. They look stable at the back.
It is all about control, isn't it, actually, in this game? And a couple of other positive shoots. Mohamed Kudus getting his Spurs account off the mark today, which is a real positive. He's got 4 assists in the Premier League so far this season. That's the highest out of everybody. And also Matthias Tell, whose confidence was running a bit low. The manager went with him today, and he scored his first goal of the season as well. So those positives as well. And as Sam rightly said, there was so much chaos last season. You never knew which way it was going to go. And actually, as a Spurs fan, I'd say it wasn't actually exciting towards the end, because it was so miserable. 22 Premier League games they lost last season. They don't look like a team who would allow that to happen this season. The players all get together and make sure that doesn't happen.
Well, put it this way, the results are certainly panning that out. They're a well-organised team. They've got a manager at the helm that's got a good CV in this division. There's no doubt about that, and it looked a really good appointment at the time, and it's certainly looking that way. A good result for Spurs, no doubt about that. You win on the road in the Premier League, it's a great result, and but I think Leeds will say, were we outplayed today? Probably not. They probably didn't have enough cutting edge at the front end of their team to really cause a problem to Tottenham.
And I feel that actually could be a problem, whilst they've tried to address it. And they've, Okafor is a very good player. Dominic Calvert-Lewin on his day can do well. He's already scored so far. But they've scored 8 goals so far this season. 7 different goal scorers.
Yeah.
They don't have someone who is the person you can rely on up front, or they're still trying to find that. We're still early in the season as well, but by 7 games you kind of would have that target markman, wouldn't you? And it doesn't seem that they have that.
No, you would have hoped, and certainly Daniel Farke would have hoped that Calvert-Lewin would have come in. I mean, he helped set up the first goal, credit to him, but in the main, Van der Ven had him exactly where he wanted him, and they probably didn't feed enough balls into the box to get the best out of him, and that aerial prowess, which I didn't see in open play, but on the odd occasion it did come in the box from crosses. You always feel as though he might go on the end of it.
I do feel bad for Leeds, because I feel that they probably deserved more from some of their other games, against Newcastle, against Bournemouth, against Fulham as well. Do you think they did deserve more today?
I think something was there for them, but as a football team you've got to go and take that, and I don't think that there was enough devilment within their
probably
group
would have been a mistake
to go and
from
take
Spurs for them to actually be able to grab something.
Indeed, Resh.
Yeah, okay, well it did finish Leeds United 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2, so Spurs have a great record on the road, actually. 10 points now from their 4 away games so far this season, and Leeds of course losing that incredible record at home. It was going to go at some point, and today was the day. Let's pick our man of the match now, if Stuart has thought of one, with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The Here For It hero on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Oh, have you got it? Have you done it?
I've got it.
The cogs
I've got
turned in the brain and you found one?
In reverse order, in second place is going to be Kudos.
Okay.
In first place, Van der Ven. I thought he dealt with any threat that there potentially was up there comfortably. Balls into the box on occasion. It was him that was going to get his head on things. So I'm going to go Van der Ven.
And he's now taking the goal kicks as well. So he's doing 2 jobs.
Does everything. Goalies don't get paid for overtime these days, do they?
That was our Here For It hero, man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.